you alluded in your opening remarks to the
Yeah, no jump back
situation in
on
the Middle
here.
East and the impact
My
that
laptop
that
shut.
is likely to have
My
on the
laptop
economy.
shut off
You
for me just now.
indicated the movement in oil
I
prices.
go hold
It
a
has two
shower
effects. It will have a
and lift my
balance of payment
laptop
effect,
and
but
never
also
check on the
you will
battery and it
collect some
shut off.
more
So I like
tax
and
revenues
share.
from GCTs and
See me?
STCs. What contingencies are in place to deal with the likely impact of inflation from the increases in oil prices, particularly on those who are most vulnerable?
All right. So the war has
Oh,
started.
boy,
It's in
Lord,
its
like, wow.
first week.
My laptop
The
just shut off
impact
for me. I like and share.
we would
I just go hold a
begin to
shower,
be
you know, my
very
laptop.
concerned about
And
the
I just
impact
pizza
depending
second, I go hold
on
a shower,
how
my laptop
long
shut off.
the war goes on. In the near term, we will see the first effect of it through oil prices here in Jamaica. We expect consumers in the near term to manage their budgets accordingly. Again, it's going to depend the longer term impact of it and whether or not government will be required to assist will depend on the duration announcement to the country.
All right. In terms of your projections, and I noted the financial secretary in response to a question from the opposition leader indicated that the inflation rate figure for 25-26 was revised downwards from 10% to, I believe, 5.6. You have projected a nominal GDP growth of 9.2% for 26-27 and a real growth of negative 0.5%, which assumes a deflator of 9.7%. Given the downward revision in inflation, does that deflator, do you believe that that deflator is still accurate and will still hold? Because inflation has moderated relative to the original expectations.
All right. It's interesting that you should narrow in on that because that is the contention of the fiscal commissioner, that our inflation numbers were too high, and he pointed out the risk of that. So it's interesting now that we are being asked, why do we take that down to 5.6%? Well, let me say, at the time of the estimate of the 10%, you have to go back to December, January, when these numbers were being put together. In the environment in which we were at that time, food prices were up significantly. You recall the price of green pepper and other items were just off the charts. So it was not unreasonable at the time to have estimated inflation of that magnitude. We have since seen in new inflation numbers. They've moderated quite a bit. And so we've gone back and made the reduction in that early number to reflect the new data that became available to us.
I totally understand that. I'm now going further to ask whether you believe the assumption of the deflator of 9.7% for 26-27, given the moderation of inflation, is still a number that you believe would hold, because you have almost, the outturn of inflation has almost been just over half of what the projection was. The 9.7 deflator assumes built in probably a larger than real inflation number. So I'm saying with the moderation and accepting now with the Middle East conflict that there are uncertainties. But I'm just asking if you still believe that that 9.7 deflator will hold.
We're expecting that to be lower.
Right, that's
Obviously,
what I
with
would
the change,
anticipate, yeah.
But then it's a dynamic situation.
Right, because I said the
It's
war
very
could,
dynamic,
yes, I'm accepting that, yeah. Can I shift a little to your wages and the provision for wages and salaries? You have a contingency of 42 billion that has been provided in the overall figure of 555 billion. Can you give a breakdown of what you anticipate the 42 billion to cover? Would it cover, for example, a provision for a potential IDT award coming out of the issue with the Jamaica Medical Doctors Association, as an example? Does it include the agreement of the commitment of a 2% increase that was made last year, or a commitment that was said last year, but I don't know whether that would be paid in the upcoming fiscal year. So I'm asking for what the 42 billion would cover in terms of the contingencies for wages and salary negotiations.
Member, as you correctly identified, the 42 billion that has been provided in the budget for wages and salaries anticipate that there will be a settlement in this new fiscal year, and we have to make provision for that, whether or not it happens.
Settlement of which one specifically? The JMDA IDT one, and there may be others. Which specific ones?
For the government wage offer that's on the table. At least we had to create space for that in the budget. We don't, with regards to the IDT awards, we don't know where those will come out at yet. We have other contingencies in the budget from which we could draw from, but given that we know what is the offer from government, we're able to estimate how much that is and put that in the budget.
One of the issues raised by the Fiscal Commissioner relates to the misalignment of the negotiating cycle between the unions and the government in preparation for the budget. I know for 25-26, the unions would have presented their claims in about November of 2024 in anticipation of the new fiscal year. But it has taken the government much longer than anticipated to conclude those negotiations, which means you keep having to carry relatively large contingencies because you don't have an accurate figure of what your commitments are going to be. Can you commit that going forward for the next fiscal year that the negotiation cycle will align with the budgetary cycle, so that in preparation for the budget you will have an idea of what your commitments are on the wages and salary side?
Okay, so the alignment with the budget will be, it's not just the government. The government can't just decree that wage negotiations align with the budget. You know how negotiations work. Two sides come to the table. This side says, I have A. The other side says, I want A plus, whatever that plus is. And it takes a while to negotiate, to come back to the table, to leave, come back again, and the two sides have to meet. Yes, I understand what the Fiscal Commissioner is calling for. It's calling for certainty in the budget, but that's why we have contingencies in the budget, because there are always uncertainties in the budget. Of course, government would love to settle with the unions. That goes without saying, but it takes two. It's not just the government. Government cannot decree a wage settlement. We have to sit at the table with the unions as many times as required for us to get to an agreement, and that's how it is. We could walk into Parliament and we could legislate, but in reality, the process is what determines the cycle of the wage negotiation. But I fully understand where the fiscal commissioner is coming from, and just the risk to the budget when you have the wage negotiation outstanding without any idea of when it will be concluded.
All right. I want to shift to your revenue measures, and in particular the environmental levy, the increase in the environmental levy, and the movement of the levy from 75% to 100% of sales. This measure will place local manufacturers at a competitive disadvantage vis-a-vis those who import products, and it could be the exact same product. The importer would pay the levy on the imported inputs, whereas the local manufacturer pays 100% on the value of sales. So there is if you want to call it an unintended consequence, where the local manufacturer is placed at a disadvantage relative to the importer. Have you recognized that, and do you intend to address that anomaly or that deficiency in how the tax measure was proposed?
In short, member, my technical person, just from listening to your question, has indicated that that is not the case in terms of the domestic and the importer being on an uneven playing ground. That is not the case.
Meaning, you're saying it's not the case. So the importer pays on inputs, but the manufacturer pays on total sales. That's not the case?
All right. Member, thank you for raising that question. We've heard it from the manufacturers as well. And as you can see, it's a technical issue. My understanding is that for the manufacturer, the 75% is on sales, whereas the importer, it is on CIF, which is a landed cost, but in that landed cost, there is a markup as well. But just to say, though, that we met with the industry yesterday to hear from them. And this is one that we will put some numbers to, because we do not believe that there is a disadvantage to the manufacturers versus the importer. So we will do that, and we will continue our conversations with the industry.
The other revenue measure, the SCT on sweetened beverages, in particular for those producers who produce both for the domestic market and the export market. The tax applies for domestic production and consumption and for importation. But many of the manufacturers would have one production system. Given this imposition, it would necessitate someone who is producing the same product both locally and for export to, I suppose, manage separately those from an accounting perspective, how they treat with exports versus those for the domestic market for the same product. And from a financial management perspective, it's just an additional burden which the manufacturers would have to take on to separate what they are going to export from what they would do for domestic production.
And the question is?
No, well, it's more a statement of the added, if you want to call it burden, that would be placed on those manufacturers when they have to make that distinction. So it's really not a question. But I'll pause here, and if my colleagues have other questions that they wish to ask the minister.
Member from Northwestern, St. Catherine.
Thank you, Chairman. I bring greetings to the minister as well from her friends and relatives in Ty Dixon.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Minister, I'd like to start with some of the revenue measures, in particular sweetened beverage. What's the actual estimated consumption for the year 23-24 and 24-25 that was used as the base for your projections?
All right, so we used 17.3 million cases in 2020. And notice I said cases, so you multiply that by an average of 24 bottles or cans. And
Put it on calculator for me now.
all right, sorry. Okay, so those numbers I'm told were just for carbonated beverage, but we used in our estimate roughly 40 million cases.
40 million. Minister, the tax is in milliliter, and you know there are varied sizes. Would you have a milliliter amount?
You mean for the totality of it?
Yes, Minister.
It's over 500 billion milliliters.
Is that within the range of 500 billion or 700 billion? Over has a wide gap. Is it approximately 500 billion?
Right, approximately 500 billion milliliters.
Okay, well, Minister, you estimate a earning of $10.1 billion at 2 cents per milliliter. Would you confirm, therefore, that you expect no reduction in the consumption of that sugary drink, being that that would equate to 500 billion as well, milliliters?
Are you talking about
Consumption. Consumption.
Are you talking about the 10.1 billion?
Yes, Minister. The
That's
levy of
estimated.
2 cents.
All right. So here's the thing. One, these are estimates. Two, persons could decide that they want to drink less of the sugary drinks, and we see a reduction in that number,
Yes.
right? That's a good thing from a health perspective. Persons could also decide that they will drink more, and we get the revenues that we estimate or more. Right, if they drink more, estimates, right, or more, right? So, member, based on the data from the Ministry of Health and Wellness, they have been tracking non-communicable diseases for a while now, and they know with great certainty the negative impact of sugar, excess sugar, on the population of Jamaica. So if we get more than is estimated, that extra goes into the health sector to take care of those people when they land there, because they're going to show up with elevated levels, they're going to show up complaining of all kinds of ailments as a result of drinking excess sugary drinks. So either way, Minister, either way, Chairman, whether it's 10.1 billion or more than 10 or less than 10, the health sector will have to take care of those who drink too much, and it will benefit from those who change their behavior and consume less.
Minister, unfortunately, I didn't get a response to my question. It was indicated that your base zero this year was 500 billion milliliters. Your best case projection, or your most likely case projection, suggests that at 2 cents you will earn 10.1 billion, indicating therefore you expect no decrease in the consumption of the sugary drink, because it would take 500 billion times 2 cents to be 10.1 billion. All right.
All right, so member,
Yes.
I can say that the 10.1 billion had took into consideration, some amount of reduction in the consumption of the beverage.
So your previous figure of 500 billion would have been incorrect then. Your base figure you're saying.
Well, I told you approximately, and in fact, I just got confirmation that we used 533 billion, and that we looked at the experience in other countries that have instituted the tax to see what what the behavior was of their consumers.
All right, Minister, would you accept that at 500 billion milliliters, which is what your revenues project, That's equivalent to 400 bottles for every Jamaican soda per year.
Well, thank you for that calculation. That suggests that each person drinks a little more than one per day. And that's why the Ministry of Health and Wellness is seeing the explosion that it is in terms of diabetes and other sugar-related illnesses.
All right, thank you, Minister.
So it is it's a real concern.
Yes, all right. Minister, have the ministry conducted a distributional incident analysis to see which section of the society will be most affected by this tax?
You know, I've heard the concern that this will impact poor people the most. The tax will impact poor people the most. I would have to ask the Ministry of Health and Wellness, based on the experience with those who show up at the hospital, if that is the same population that's showing up. Obviously, we want everybody to be, to reduce their sugar intake, because we know it's not guessing and spelling about the impact of sugar on health. There's no guess and spell about that. The data is there.
Chairman, unfortunately, the minister is not answering my question.
What is your question, member?
There's an economic activity called a distributional impact assessment that is seeking to see any policies impact on the different quintiles within the society. Was such a study done, and what was the result of that study? That will confirm or deny if it is impacting the poor the most.
We take our data from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. They have incontrovertible data on the impact of sugar on the
Unless
health
it's a favor.
of Jamaicans.
When somebody dash some plate water upon him.
The population
When I don't wash out a
that
plate and
goes
wash out a pocket,
to
just dash some the water upon him, bomba
hospitals,
clot. How is a drunk come from, man? Dirty bungria.
it is clear
Jesus
that
mercy,
those
God.
people who are drinking more of the sugary beverage are the ones ending up in the health facilities. Member, we want the behavior of persons to change.
But your
Right?
projections
We
don't
want them-
suggest that you'll be successful. Minister, when we look at some figures here, and I understand that the tax is at source.
Them a pussy
At
figure
source,
turn out.
back
Hey,
goes $16, the tax.
look how Damon Crawford a Julie blood clot harlot. Eh? Look how Damon Crawford a Julie harlot. This bomber clot. And don't forget run out of the parliament, you know. These are the junk about them a finance minister. Eh?
Like me I say.
Then the country not bound to feel with them a drunker.
And I talk about the reason why them taxes because people are about sugar.
Which fuck about sugary drink? That the people them a Jamaica not taking more sugar than the people them in the UK.
Exactly.
That the people them in Jamaica not taking more sugar than the people them in America. Me hear them a talk about them as the statistics with Mexico. Eh? Why they never do statistics with America, England and Canada? The amount of sweets in Mrs. Selling them a place, the amount of sweets in them a pitney and them, left it to God. I do some fuck with them a drunk come up with about sugary drink.
Wicked and wicked.
About sugary drink. You don't want somebody shitting on the mouth. Andrew want somebody shitting on the mouth and tape up with duct tape, make it shit spoil. And swell up and say, blue! And fly through your nose. Explode, the gas build up in your mouth and you, blue!
Would increase it by 31%. At source, Starbucks Mocha, $329. The tax would increase it at 2%. Red Bull Tropical, $293. The tax would increase it at 1.7%. Welch's Sparkling Wine, the tax on this wine doesn't include alcohol. the tax would increase at 1.6%. And the crushed peach, which is a juice imported for $841, the tax will increase it at 0.84%. No, you're not at this seat. You can answer when you get there. So, therefore, Minister, the bag juice tax is 31% just based on the quantity, as versus the Starbucks tax at 2.4. Can I have some protection, Chairman? Can I have some protection? So, Minister, would you agree that the choice of a quantity per milliliter tax disproportionately impacts cheaper beverages? Can I have some protection, Chairman?
Yo, no, your data in Canberra.
Okay.
When name? No, him. When name again? Damon Crawford asked some serious question. Serious question him ask, you know. Because it don't make no sense, you know. Based on what they said, they want to come back, sugary drink.
You know, they take Jamaican people for eat that and to the fuck of them.
They come in the apartment with them a fuckery about Christopher talking talk about health.
Probably.
About health.
Christopher talking about health and him and Andrew Wallace up my KFC. They up my KFC other day over St. Thomas.
I don't know still. Why I don't know. Jamaican people them just backward.
What place them be? Monkey.
Them just backward. Them people them backward. Baby, people them backward. They just backward there, man. Them people are problem. People backward, fucking dopey them.
Poor and needy among
listen
us
this.
to continue to drink, you know, the high sugar juices, the high sugar beverages. Yeah, you know, that's what you're arguing for.
Minister,
and we are, yes,
Minister,
we
Standing
are.
Finance Minister, it is actually not the place to come and defend government policy. Policy set by the government at Standing Finance. We discuss the numbers in the budget. That is what...
No.
That...
Who sit there?
Look on Juliet lip, look like I was biting on his mouth. How your mouth looks so now? How would Juliet go do to your mouth? How they say when they put on their mouth name again, some good to make their mouth get big.
Oh.
What do they call it?
Juliet,
Juliet, you told me to pan her lip. Juliet, you told me to pan her lip. How are you practicing to Juliet?
Seriously, is that?
So Juliet, I will request big lip. Then who could I request is a big lip and now Juliet go to tell me to pan lip?
The injection she had take for look skinny.
Juliet. Rhoda beat up bad, mama. Rhoda beat it. Rhoda make you go to make a total makeover. Boy, I don't like Rhoda, but if I have one thing I like Rhoda for, Rhoda makes some girl have to do self-check. So Juliet, where you going to buy your foot now? You going to live for your house and you go road? You going to borrow for your son foot? You might borrow your son foot and your son and your foot will go. You might borrow your son foot for you go to the road. Juliet, you want to do something by your foot too.
Minister?
Look like you might bleach too. Juliet, better you bleach, man. Go down and Mr. Chin go look some bleaching cream. Because you know she say your man love browning. Yeah? A browning, your man love, you know?
Over there, Minister.
I'm going to tell you something, size 13, if you never know. Your man come from St. Elizabeth. It's a Red King town he come from. So they must smart racists, you know. they must smart racists. That's true. Andrew say you're too dark. That is why I'm going to man river. When a cooler breeze blow up on the hill.
So finance come, the minister can answer in detail the numbers he has for health. Members.
I paid me heart to sit down up on the teeth, you know.
Minister of
You
Health
know, they paid me heart.
into details.
I can't take what them as serious. They just can't take the government serious, man. Them a thief, yeah, man. Them have to go fix up their life. I just not feel like somebody take no talk from a criminal. The man,
Minister, Chairman.
I'll know them not answer Damon Crawford question, you know.
Can I intervene on your
Member,
ruling, Chairman?
Member Crawford,
Chairman Crawford must
please.
Boy, I don't know the labor right there, I don't know where they come from. The future,
Chairman.
I don't know where they come from. I don't care how sneaking them in that island.
no one know too.
All right, Chairman, can I move on? I think the point has been
Them
made.
on a Jamaican.
Yes.
Member
Chairman.
Crawford, thank you for taking the point, and I'm hoping the remainder of the House takes a point, because it has to be that the questions we ask.
Nah, Chairman. Chairman.
It's
Sorry.
just a general statement, Member Crawford.
Yes.
The questions that we ask have to be in respect of the budget numbers that
And the basis of the budget.
we have. If you want to delve deeper into a discussion of the numbers, then you would have to wait until the respective line minister come to go very deep in those numbers.
No, Chairman.
I thought Christian talking
Chairman, if I
now.
may, can I
So-
just
so I
intervene?
heard-
Can I just
Juliet, come out of the
I-
parliament
I
and go
was
sell a
listening to
market, a
Standing
bomb
Finance
clock
while
market
sitting in the
seller.
chair.
Yes.
Why not come out of the
So
parliament?
that's why I
Why
came.
this Higgler not come out of the parliament?
Hold on. I
Higgler!
was listening to Standing Finance.
Yes.
Why this Higgler not come out of the parliament? Hey! Then say you take your hand out of your mouth, but you can't take your mouth out of him. You see? This Higgler needs to come out of the parliament. Go sell onion and tomato. And we say, my man do over so your name? Your man over St. Thomas do exporting the onion. Or your name? Onion or
James Robertson.
James Robertson. Eh? Go and go link with James Robertson and open up your stall down at town. Eh? Boy, I can't, yo. Sure.
One chair to the next. I was in the office. So from one chair to the next, it flows just the same.
Can I say something?
All this a criminal woman I know talk about she want to wipe slate clean. Eh? Boy, you want to wipe slate clean. Look on these dog shit though, God. But she don't know how her name mix up on Melissa Lantiker. And she come out, she make decision to wipe slate clean. Eh? Boy, you wipe slate clean. You can't wipe no slate clean around here. Boy, you wipe slate clean. I want the woman them to come rally around it. Your woman or your man? We know you are. Your woman or man? But wipe slate clean. Which slate you want to wipe clean? All of you silent how long? And since you no science the man, I want prison man. You come out and talk about you want your wipe slate clean. If I tell you if you wipe you see.
So, Member Crawford, you're not the only one I'm speaking to, you know, so I'm going to allow you to
I understand.
continue, right? So I'm saying to you, in order for you to go through, and I know we want to go through in very detailed level the numbers in the budget this year,
Yes.
we want to take the approach, once the Minister of Finance answer in a general way.
You know, you see this now?
Particularly in
You see Joe and Jonas are the finance minister. And she attack on behalf of Andrew, you
Yeah,
know.
man.
So this a blood clot all that girl now. Attack on behalf of Andrew and her style. Because
Yeah,
she favored William is just the gate for your house. Favored William is just the gate for your house. And just
That's
paint
what
him
me
up
say.
and hanging on the gate column them.
That's why I say
See?
she go get in
So
a
that
hole
is
for
why
them.
Favor William I want shit in a plate in a fool. You eat that girl you know. This a girl up on the screen attack for Andrew. So she representing her husband, because him and her husband already discussed what them going to talk about in a parliament. So that is why she can butt in and talk so much things, because she plan it in
know
advance.
exactly, yeah. She know exactly what is going on.
That is why I say this a blood clot girl on the screen, a Bigfoot girl. Him is a problem in our parliament. That is why I say Andre Stevenson if you go run against a mad girl, you know. Andre Stevenson if you go run against a mad girl and get him out of our parliament. We can't call her she, and because we don't even know if I'm a he or she. Because when look tough.
And foot big.
And foot big. Because woman no normally have them size of foot there, you know.
Me not follow you, baby.
Eh? Woman no normally carry them size of big foot there. With so much can pan in foot, like, you know, some first time when we wear enough water about going to farming, with them foot can up.
Yeah.
Him see a, she has a market she used to sell. So much can up on her foot, and normally people with that market are slippers they have on. So remember the water boat she sell, she really got market but sell. That's so much can up on her foot. She got school most of her life. Oh, I know what happened to her. I will tell you no secret. Through her foot big, then used to trouble her when she got to school and said, "Big foot Juliet." So she used to wear some smaller size of shoes. She can't up into them. When she got to school, I said, "Go for your foot big like Captain Baker bread." So she used to feel embarrassed about that. So she used to buy some smaller size shoes and it mash up her foot. I go and find back her foot. I go and find back the foot with the hope of ginger them on the toe. This is conflict of interest. She attack on behalf of a thieving man. A big no, dirty thieving man. All the houses they live in now, they can't tell me how they come by. I capture land and live and have so much blood clot talk in our country. Chronic say Rasta live on capture land. And the Prime Minister of Jamaica and the entire family live on capture land. The Prime Minister of Jamaica now pay land tax. Not afraid to not pay tax. Don't want to pay tax in our country. The blood clot dog shit Prime Minister. And people have to pay tax, he pussy. We are pay him and he don't want to pay tax. That boy never come out and highlight.
We are pay him and him.
Andrew, come out of blood clot country and live on the sea pussy. We are pay you and you don't want to pay land tax. You can't declare you come by your house. You can't declare you have so much money. You can't declare this thing now you can talk about and you can tax Jamaican people and you raise your pay. And send the food a little further. Let's send the food a little further.
Information that you would want to delve more deeply into with the minister in question, we move on, because if not, we are going to be here repeating ad nauseum.
Can I say something,
ahead,
Chairman?
Member Crawford.
And I'm saying something to express caution on the direction that you are seeking to go. In this book tabled by the Minister of Finance, the revenue measures for the financial year, the minister has a figure for total revenue. That total revenue is dependent on the tax times quantity, or some would say price times quantity. It therefore is well within the permit to question the quantities that were used to arrive at the total revenue. The minister has intervened to suggest that the policy was going to be beneficial either way. I never asked her about that policy. I asked her on what basis did she arrive at the quantities that carried the revenues to our understanding and analysis. But I will move on, Chairman. Yes.
No, the minister.
No, I apologize, but I changed.
Please refer to the minister as the minister. So, minister.
I immediately said minister. I apologize if she was.
Minister.
No. That was not the intent at all. Minister, can I continue?
Minister, so are you comfortable with the response so far, Member Crawford, in respect of the revenue? You're comfortable with the response in respect of how the revenue estimates were arrived at?
Yes. I'm comfortable that the quantities were suggested to be relatively the same as last year. I'm comfortable.
Same as last year.
All right.
All right. So Minister, I will allow the member to move to his next question.
Yes. All right. I'm not sure how this will be perceived, but did the ministry consider nutritional exemptions for items such as cherry milk, chocolate milk, etc.?
Going back to policy here, member?
Yeah, but well, if those were removed, the quantities would have been affected. If they were not removed, the quantities would not have been affected.
Member,
so the total revenue.
I don't know that we should be getting that detail in the policy of exactly which items are in the revenues at this stage.
I think that you're incorrect on the matter, Minister, but let's move on. So the answer has been given.
Member, we have some milk-based products that are exempted, and these will be itemized in the technical document that will be published.
Okay, so we have a future document will indicate that some nutritional products with sugar input have been exempted. Well, everybody's answering for the minister and contrary to the minister. The minister indicated that there are some milk products that would have been removed. All right. Well, I got two different answers. Chairman, my colleagues
Minister,
have indicated that they are interested.
Minister, I'm not sure what your colleagues have indicated. Minister, you heard the question?
I answered the question.
Did you answer the question?
I answered the question.
Next question, member.
I said there are some milk-based products that will be exempted, and that there will be a technical document that will be published itemizing these.
Thank you.
That's exactly what I said.
No, is your side uninformed and was contradicting you, Minister? I was defending you. Further revenue measures, Minister, digital service tax. Now, having considered the impact of substitution services such as WhatsApp and the functionality of the Universal Service Fund, will a portion of the digital service tax be ring-fenced for the Universal Service Fund?
Member, we have a consolidated budget that over the years we have been bringing more and more into it from the fragmented segments of the government that was prevalent during your administration. We, whatever we collect in the consolidated fund, we look across all ministries, departments, and agencies. We take into consideration their budget when we put out the budget call, and we put out the budget ceiling. We take all of that into consideration. So we try not to earmark monies because during the course of any fiscal year, there could be a need in one ministry relative to another, and so you have the flexibility when you manage a consolidated budget to be able to allocate where the needs are. So we will not be earmarking for USF in particular, but USF's budget will be considered during the budget process as it has been over the past several years.
Reasonable. Thank you, Minister. Now let's look at some of your growth protections. What's the revenue elasticity in respect to GDP growth that you embedded in the medium-term fiscal framework, the fiscal policy paper? What's the revenue elasticity? So if we miss growth by 1%, what would be the impact on revenue?
All right, so when we're projecting tax revenues, remember, we look at buoyancy, not elasticity. There's a difference. Our revenues are predicated on our projections for GDP, and we have, from a macro perspective, we know that in general, 25 to 27% of our tax revenues, 25 to 27% of GDP is generally where our tax revenues are. Of course, that's not the only factor that we use to project the revenues. We look at tax revenues from a micro perspective as well, in terms of all the tax types, and we do the projections that way. Then we calibrate the macro with the micro to come to some studied understanding of what the revenues are going to be. So it's not an elasticity calculation per se. We know there's buoyancy if GDP grows more than what we're projecting, then we would fully expect to see more tax revenues.
Thank you, Minister, but I think the response is unfortunate because the GDP is dependent on the rate of growth. And so if the revenue is dependent on the GDP, then the revenue, therefore, is also dependent on the rate of growth. If there's a particular rate of growth, there will be a different revenue. So I'm saying that, especially based on the simple fact that within the fiscal policy paper, you suggested that your growth was skewed to the downside. So a 1% reduction in growth, how would that impact revenue? Was no stress test done to see a growth impact on revenue outcomes?
So, remember, I just described to you the process that we use to estimate the tax revenues. It's a robust process. If you look back in time and if you look at the historical outturn of it, it mirrors what's generally estimated. Obviously, in times of stress, as we've seen, like in Melissa, on other hurricanes, that would throw those projections off course, and we have to come back to Parliament with adjustments on that. But I can assure you, member, that there's a very robust process to get to our revenue projections, again predicated on our growth, on our GDP estimates, and just a detailed look and estimation of all the tax types for which we collect taxes. And that's how we do it, and that's the answer that I'm giving you today.
All right, Minister. Minister, the growth percentage that was in the fiscal policy paper, averaging about 1.5% per year over the next 4 years, it indicated that it assumed a rebound in tourism. What is the level of tourism activity that it is expecting for this growth to be achieved?
So, member, with regards to the tourism sector, I would ask you to pose your questions as well to the Minister of Tourism when he comes, but just to say from a revenue perspective, in terms of the planning, there is good coordination between us and tourism, and what we have as the underlying assumption is that there is a phased reopening of the sector. We expect to see full recovery by the end of the upcoming fiscal year. And so the assumption that is in the budget for tourism growth is over the fiscal year would be 3%. About 7-8 as it ramps up, 7 to 8% as it ramps up.
78%.
As it ramps up, 7 to 8%.
7 to 8%.
As it ramps up, as it recovers.
But Minister, if one goes to page 1706, the projection for 2025-26 tourism is that tourism should actually see a reduction in earnings, moving from 3 billion to 2.9 billion. So the fiscal paper is suggesting tourism rebound, but the budget is suggesting earnings reduction.
All right. So again, member, I'd love for you to pose your questions.
Pats,
to
big up on
the
yourself. Big up everybody who
Minister
check
of
in, you know.
Tourism,
Big
but
up on yourself, you
suffice it
hear
to
that?
say,
Heart of love.
when you look
Big up on yourself.
in the
Me I go and listen to the clown here.
which is the estimates of expenditure, you will not be able to compare year on year.
17,008.
Right? You won't be able to compare because every ministry got one-off allocation to deal with the hurricane, and that one-off allocation is not repeated in the upcoming fiscal year. So you may look at the ministry and you see that their numbers for fiscal year, the new fiscal year is lower than what it is for this fiscal year that we're ending. You would have to know what the one-off is in this year, this fiscal year that we're in, what the one-off is in order to compare those numbers and to be able to say whether they've gotten an increased budget or reduced budget.
Minister, unfortunately, I'm not speaking to expenditure. I'm speaking to the subheading which states, and I quote, estimated growth earnings from the industry financial year 26-27 are projected at 2.97 billion, corresponding with visitor arrivals of 3.41 million, stopover arrivals of 1.94, and cruise arrivals of 1.46. Gross earnings for 2025-2026 was estimated at 3.07 billion. So therefore, what this is suggesting is that tourism earnings was greater in 25-26 and would reduce in 26-27. Yet, the fiscal policy paper is suggesting that the rebound in tourism is a basis of our growth. These two things don't reconcile, Minister.
So member, again, I'd love for you to pose your questions to the Ministry of Tourism. When we do our estimates, it's at a point in time. We take into consideration all the information that we have at that point in order to help with our calculation. So I would direct you to the Ministry and Minister of Tourism with your question.
But Minister,
Member, we won't belay this point. Minister, while we are going with additional questions, I would ask that the FS just take a look at the statement being made by the member in respect of the revenue estimates and the apparent contradictory statement being made by the budget documents in respect of revenue vis-a-vis the fiscal policy paper, and see if you can come back to responding to that question.
Okay. So the page
next question.
So, but I'll give the page 1708. I'll give the
No, and what page on the fiscal policy paper?
17,008.
Fiscal policy paper page.
I will find the exact page of the fiscal policy paper, which mentioned estimated growth dependent on tourism and manufacturing rebound, as well as...
Because I'm going to just double check the paper, and I guess the ministry will need to do the same to determine if the figure stated in fiscal policy paper is an estimate, as it states there, or if it is our final number for the previous fiscal year.
Chairman.
So let's go to the next question and then we come back to that.
To something more specific to the minister. As it relates to tourism activity, there is a projected future tax on tourism activity. Minister, I think the minister is still looking at the last question. But there's a suggested tax on tourism activity. That tourism activity, what does that include, if you may indicate some of the things to include? And specifically, does it include cruise activity? Does it include Airbnb? What does that tourism activity
Tourism
include?
activity as defined in the legislation.
Can you indicate to me? I've not seen that legislation. Would it include Airbnb? It would include cruise activity?
You have to go to the legislation.
No, Chairman, with due respect, there's a tax here for tourism activity that has a revenue projection coming from the minister. If this is only on visitor arrival, that is a different thing for stopovers as versus for cruise. If this is only for JTB registered, that's a different quantity as versus for Airbnb. So therefore, it is reasonable for us to ask the current minister what is included in tourism activity, because the header for the tax, Member Brown, is tourism activity. Lend me a pink book. Pink book, revenue. When you sit here,
But I've given him the answer, right, as defined in the act.
All right, so therefore, the JTB Act, does the JTB Act, to your knowledge, include cruise ship persons in tourism activity? Does it include tour and tour activity in tourism activities? Does it include Airbnb in tourism activities? This is a reasonable question. 30% of the arrivals are suggested to go to Airbnbs. Is that a part of your income estimation? She has not, and you're not sitting there.
Members, Minister.
May I lose the part when it there? What? Okay.
Minister.
Yeah.
It is not possible for the minister to search for every single thing in here. For some
Every
of the
single thing?
No,
for some of the things, it will take some time. So, Minister,
right.
the member would like you to pull the act and read it for him.
All right, I'll get back to that question then.
So, member, would any member can pull the act so that we can read exactly what is stated there. It's not reasonable to ask the minister to remember all of it. So, pull in the interim.
All right. Minister.
Go ahead, member.
Well, Minister, my next question is a follow-up.
All right, well, hold it until we pull
All right,
the
so I'll
act.
skip that and come back to it. All right.
All right, member, if you look at the General Consumption Tax Act, tourism activities consisting of supplying the services of a hotel or resort cottage, a site or other facilities for
I'm not
camping,
hearing at all.
tourist accommodation not specified in paragraph A, B, or C, water sports and attraction, a tour operator pursuant to a license issued under the Tourist Board Act.
So does that include cruise and Airbnb? Because I wasn't hearing the reading. Does that include cruise ship and Airbnb?
Remember, I will read again exactly what is in the General Consumption Tax
Yes,
Act.
please.
And it says, tourism activities consisting of supplying the services of A, a hotel, B, a resort cottage, C, a site or other facilities for camping, D, tourism accommodation not specified in paragraph A, B, or C, E, water sports, F, an attraction, G, a tour operator pursuant to a license issued under the Tourist Board Act.
Okay. That would include cruise tourism. How do you expect to collect the tax on the persons on a cruise? Only those who disembark, or would it include all persons? What's the basis of that collection? You're looking at job over there and it's not going to work.
All right, so member, what you need to understand is that on these services that I've listed, the GCT rate on them is 10%.
Okay.
No other industry has that rate. And we are equalizing the rate to the standard 15% GCT.
All right, I'll move on, Minister. I didn't question the rate, I questioned who's included. But, okay. Minister, to what extent is the projected growth contingent on full utilization of the capital budget?
So, of course, we would expect that some of the GDP growth would be supported by the capital spending that we do. But just want to point out to members that in these capital projects that we do, remember that we have to import quite a bit. We have to import quite a bit in terms of the inputs into these capital projects. So while we do expect growth to come from these projects, we know that, for instance, what NARA is going to be doing in the upcoming fiscal year, it will be engaged in pre-investment, meaning working on the plans for the reconstruction, ensuring that people are in place and so on. So in this first upcoming new fiscal year, you will not necessarily see a significant impact from it because of all the startup work that needs to be done. But as it gathers momentum, you will begin to see more and more of it, of the big capital works reflected in the GDP growth.
But the capacity to execute, Minister, would have reasonably been assessed in this particular year's budget, for which there is a extensive capital budget. Having missed it last year by 37%, I'm asking, to what extent does the full utilization of the capital budget impact your growth projections in the fiscal policy paper?
All right. So there's an expectation that we will be engaging more capacity as we look out into the medium term. From here on into the medium term, we will be looking at just engaging more capacity in order to help us to spend the capital figures, the budget that's there.
Chairman, before the leader of government business continue to peruse the standing orders, I'd like to inform him that the fiscal policy paper is indeed a part of the conversation in this budget.
Why do you need to remind the House leader of any such
So I
thing?
see him studying, Minister.
No, he's not studying a thing.
I see him studying.
When you're fast, I want to know what the conversation
All right,
is.
just 4 questions to go, Minister, and I'll move on.
Focus on your question.
Just 4 questions.
Thank you.
No. The medium-term debt strategy and the fiscal policy paper overtly speaks to crowding out private sector borrowing and private sector investment. Can the minister indicate exactly what systems are in place to monitor and manage that activity?
Sorry, what activity?
Crowding out of private sector borrowing.
We
I think it indicated 60% of the debt would have been through local, I don't want to misquote, but it indicated overtly the risk of crowding out private sector borrowing.
So as we put together the various budget documents, we have to consider just all aspects of it, and we have to state it in the book for completeness. We have not seen that phenomenon in the local market. If anything, there is a significant appetite for government debt in the local market. But again, we have to state the pluses and minuses, the risk and the rewards when we put out these publications, so that it gives you a rounded picture and it lets you know that we are considering not just the optimistic side, but we consider as well the not so optimistic scenario.
All right, Minister. Does this budget have a allocation for a renewal of the catastrophe bond?
Yes, there is an allocation in there.
And what is the targeted coverage for that catastrophe bond?
We cannot say at this moment. As you would know, this would be a commercial transaction, you know, that we will use our brokers to help us and our international partners to help us to place. Obviously, we want to continue our framework for natural disaster risk financing, and we are moving aggressively to ensure that we replenish and get new instruments as well to deal with emerging disasters.
Well, Minister, I didn't ask for the achieved. I said, what's the targeted? What is the targeted coverage?
And I am saying to you, we cannot tell you the amount.
Okay.
Minister,
We can't tell you the amount. It's a commercial transaction.
Minister,
it's a negotiated
Minister,
transaction.
he probably just needed an estimated rate that was applied.
No, it's not the rate I
what?
asked now.
No,
it's
he's
the
asking
coverage.
about
What
the
is the
amount.
target?
Full
But
coverage,
I'll move on.
dollar
I'll
value
move on.
coverage you're asking the
Yes,
Minister?
I was saying.
Oh, I
yes.
thought you just wanted to know what was the percentage used for her estimated cost calculation. So, Minister, perfect response. Next.
On that note, I will just thank the Minister and thank the Chair. Thank you.
Oh, you're finished? Oh. Good. Good intervention. So in respect of Member Crawford, we will come back in the calculations for the tourism revenues. That's one of the things that will come back. Were you comfortable with? Yes, I think you are comfortable with that. The one that I think, and are you comfortable? So, Minister, you have nothing to come back to the members in respect of. Next question. Who is next now? Member Brown.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairperson. I want to just move quickly to the same revenue measures, specifically as it relates to the proposed general consumption tax on digital services, Minister. And I see where in the fourth quarter you expect to earn 300 million. Could you advise us what are the digital components that are expected to be have the application of the GCT?
All right, member, you will note that the estimate of 300 million is quite low, and that is because it requires us to do quite a bit of work to get there, and that's why we're not overly estimating our intake in the upcoming fiscal year. We are working with the OECD. We're working with their framework because there's a lot that you have to put in place. We're looking at the experience of other countries. There are several countries that have instituted this. And in terms of the components of it, I wouldn't be able to say, I wouldn't be able to list all of those today. I wouldn't be able to list those at all. As we do the work and as we get closer to implementation, we will speak more about that.
All right, thank you, Minister. But that 300 million, I don't think you pulled it from a hat. So it must have been grounded in something. So What are those possible? We heard about streaming services. So there's a figure that is there that has been put forward, right? So I understand that you may be continuing to work through, but we hear issues of streaming services, ChatGPT, Netflix. So I'm asking specifically, what is that 300 million so far grounded in? Chairman, can you allow the... Yes, Minister.
Sure. Well, I'll just repeat what I said to you. In putting together what constitutes digital services, we are working with the OECD, who has had experience working with other countries on this, to get to implementation of it. We will make decisions along the way. It will be premature for us to put those items out there now. We've looked at the experience of countries. We've seen where they started and how they ramped up, and those are the guidelines that we've been using. And as again, I say to you, our estimate is not overly optimistic because of the work we're going to have to do in the upcoming tax year in order to get to implementation.
Yeah, I hear that.
Member, next, because this revenue is all the way in fourth quarter, and for the very first time in our history, we are able to read revenue measures that give us some detailed understanding of the basis forming the revenue estimates. Minister, we have never had this before in our history. So let's move on from that question and move to the next one. Your mic went off? Lord. Press it back on for me, please, Member Brown. How come? No, they don't have to. Something is wrong, Member Brown. It's not picking up any. Turn off everything. Member Brown, turn yours off as well. It's not picking up anybody's mic.
All right. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. All right. The final question I have around that is the issue of how is it proposed. And I hear, Minister, that it is going to be, we are still contemplating and working out the mechanics around the, Minister Mackenzie, just hold on a minute. How is it proposed? Is there any initial consideration, since this has been placed in the estimates in terms of the revenue measures? How is it proposed, Minister, to actually collect these taxes?
Member, again, I can say to you, the most efficient way to calculate would be at source, but again, it requires quite a bit of work on our part, working with our international partner, who has helped many countries to put this system into effect. The details of it will become known. Just allow us to work through that process, and maybe at another meeting of Parliament or a committee meeting like this one, we can tell you the details of it.
All right, thank you, Minister. I mean, a lot of our companies are, in terms of their planning, are waiting on the government for clarity. So I urge the Minister and the team to have that clarification in short order.
So that's why we're not implementing it on day one. We're allowing time for this, for companies to ask us questions, and as we work along, as we move along, we'll be working with the companies.
Thank you.
This seems like Member Hilton. That's your Member Hilton.
Thank you. Minister, I think we can agree that the 1948 Customs Act is urgently in need of reform. 2020, the legislation was brought here. This is 2026. When are we likely to see the implementation of that legislation?
It will be coming back to Parliament this fiscal year, because there are a number of amendments that were proposed when it went to the Senate.
No, it's 5 years, 6 years ago.
And given the intervening election, we have to take it back again through some parts of the process. But I am motivated and committed to ensuring that it comes to the Parliament during this upcoming fiscal year.
Member Gordon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Minister, I look at your policy paper and I have a few questions. First one is, you have revised inflation, but you have not revised the 2024 poverty rate, which stands at 7.8%. The global projected rate is 3.3% in fiscal year 26-27 and 3.2% in the following year. What would inform...
Member Gordon, I don't think we heard you properly. Revise poverty or property rate? What did you say?
Poverty rate.
Poverty rate.
Yeah. So what would have informed that, Minister, that you revise inflation, but you have not said anything about the revision of the poverty rate?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question? Because you started out with inflation, and then you...
Inflation is revised, okay, from the 2024. But I have not seen any revision for the poverty rate, which stood at 7.8% in 2024.
Yeah, the survey of living conditions has to be updated,
Poverty.
right? Yeah, we haven't laid that in. So remember, there is a survey process to establish the poverty rate. Whenever that report is completed, it will be published and or tabled in Parliament.
I don't hear a word. Madam Chair, I didn't hear a word the minister said.
The minister said
I'm saying, member, that the survey that looks at the poverty rate in Jamaica happens, and I believe it happens every 2 years. Right, so as far as I know, the latest report is not ready yet, but I know as soon as it is ready, it is published. But suffice it to say, when you look at the history of that number that measures poverty rates, we are at the lowest level that we have seen in Jamaica because of the policies of this government. We have seen poverty levels declined by about 50%. Cut in half, cut in half.
Nice cheerleader. Minister,
Members, allow
Minister,
Member Gordon to complete his questions.
you
Go
have
ahead, Member Gordon.
projected economic growth of 1% in fiscal year 28-29. This budget does not inspire confidence in terms of growth, our growth strategy. If we are to maintain that poverty percentage, then it has to be led by growth. And I'm seeing nothing here that would suggest that there's any strategy for growth. What then, Minister, would inform you reducing the projected growth rate in 2029 as against fiscal year 26, 27, 27, 28? And you project 1%.
All right, so member, if you look at the upcoming fiscal year, some recovery is built into that, and we've seen that pattern as we go through periods of disaster. We saw it going through COVID, where GDP was depressed during the COVID years, and as soon as we exited that pandemic, you saw the growth rates accelerate. We've seen it through Hurricane Beryl, a decline in the growth rate in the aftermath, and then shortly thereafter you see the recovery, and you will see this similar pattern following Melissa. This is a devastating hurricane, but we are fully expecting to begin to see positive growth again shortly as a result of the work of this government, the quick get up and go of this government. Jamaica is being lauded for its efforts, its quick response following the devastation of Hurricane Melissa. And you will see those growth rates during the quarter. As we look into the future, we know that we go through hurricane cycles. We have to deal with those. We don't know what else is going to hit us. And so as we project, our stance has been really to be conservative with our projections of growth.
Minister, I'm still fixated on growth. There's no way we can sustain our fiscal policy and your projection with 1% growth. What is your strategy to grow the economy to achieve the 4 to 7% that you're proposing? I didn't know we have multiple finance ministers. This is above your pay grade. You shut up. This is above your pay grade, so you shut up.
Do you have any more questions, Member Gordon?
I'm waiting on the answer, Madam Chair. I'm asking for a growth strategy that would then allow the minister to achieve the projected 4 to 7% growth. That's all I'm asking. What is the strategy that she would employ to ensure that we realize the 4 to 7% growth?
That's the minister.
The minister, sorry, the minister.
No, well, let me say, member, GDP growth is all of our business. If we look across the ministries that make up the portfolio, we would expect to see growth from agriculture. The minister responsible for agriculture has been going full blast, putting in irrigation, putting in cold storage. Opening up more hectares of land for agriculture. In the tourism sector, we're seeing more hotel rooms. That will lead to growth. In the water sector, the minister there, he is also going full blast, just putting in the infrastructure so that it can be spread across Jamaica, and that's part of the growth.
It's not in the book.
Development.
He asked the question, what forms the basis? And the minister is telling him with the decline this year, or the increases. So you don't like that answer?
I'm telling you to shut up.
Max, what form the basis? So no.
I just did.
Minister is not discussing policy. She's explaining what forms the basis. Oh, you're not liking the answer, Minister. Minister is only answering the member. Member, are you happy? Are you happy with the response?
Absolutely.
Would you like to ask another question?
All right. So, Madam Chair, could I just direct
Minister,
them
just
to
finish
the fiscal policy
Yes,
book,
finish
please?
up there. The member.
Right.
Is
So,
finished.
Madam Chair, I will direct the members to Appendix 5, starting from page 1, and it speaks to all the sectors and what all the sectors are doing that will feed into the growth numbers that we have. And it's all laid out there. Southern Plain Agricultural Development Project and Essex Valley Irrigation, just all the things that all the different ministries are doing, the road infrastructure work, all of that is here, digital transformation, water supply infrastructure, and so on. So it's detailed in the fiscal policy paper as to the drivers of growth that we are expecting. Put the pages.
Member Miller Bennett, is that your? Go ahead, member.
Minister, I noticed that the Postal Corporation of Jamaica, you're projecting an increase in revenue of commercial services. I'm concerned and I'm asking, what has been the implication of the U.S. executive order to suspend duty-free diminished treatment for all countries? How has this impacted, or how will it impact the revenue, commercial services revenue of the corporation?
So, member, thank you for that question, but the post office has not indicated to us that they're seeing any severe impact or any impact from that policy.
Minister, that's a main income stream for the Postal Corporation. So I think it is important to know how this impacted, in addition to the fact that many post offices were affected by Melissa. So your revenue income would your commercial services revenue would be impacted, but you are projecting to increase this in the upcoming year. Is there some other way to increase this?
Member, could you repeat your question, and if you could be a little bit more specific?
The question, Minister, is that quite a few post offices were affected by Melissa. As a matter of fact, most post offices are closed. How are you projecting to increase commercial services revenue for 26-27? They were badly affected by Melissa and closed. How are you projecting to increase commercial services revenue in addition to the executive order by the U.S., where the Postal Corporation is revenue for packages under $800? That's a main income stream for the Postal Corporation. That would have been affected by the executive order of August 2025. But you're projecting an increase in commercial services revenue. What is it that the Postal Corporation will be doing to fill this revenue that you're projecting?
All right, so the projections there would come from the entity who best understand the business that they're in, the different streams of business, and what they will be able to do in the coming year to maintain and improve their revenues. As I said earlier on, that entity has not, through the budget process, brought to our attention any negative impact that it is seeing, and I'm sure if it was, it would be reflected in their ask of the Ministry of Finance, because to the extent that their revenues are negatively impacted, they would have to make it up someplace else. And generally, it's to the Ministry of Finance that they come, and we have not seen, we haven't gotten that information that they are suffering at all from that policy in the U.S.
In essence, Minister, you're saying that you're not equipped to answer the question then?
So no. Let me respond, because obviously the member does not yet have an appreciation or know of the budget process, right? Does not. She just does not know. I'm trying to explain to her. I am explaining to her that there is a budget call that goes out. The ministries and departments and agencies put together their own budget. They come to the Ministry of Finance for discussion and analysis of what they've put together. Ministries that are having issues, or they think that they will need some help from the Ministry of Finance because of whatever the marketplace is throwing up at them, that is when we would get that information. To the extent that it did not show up during the budget process, it is safe to assume that the entity is not seeing anything that would negatively impact its revenue projections. So that's the answer. So just because you don't like the answer,
Minister,
does not mean that I have not provided you with an answer.
Members, do you have any additional questions?
I'd like to make a statement.
No, member, no statement necessary.
Minister?
No, member, no statement necessary. Do you have any additional questions? Any additional questions?
Yes.
Yes, go ahead, after which it is Member Dawes and then Member Jackson. No, not you yet, member Jackson. Dawes and then Jackson. Member, member, go to your next question, please.
Minister, while I can appreciate being a new member.
No statements. It is at your next question. No, your next question. Listen, member, when you make comments to the minister is going to answer you as well. So if you can't take the heat, you have to stay out of the kitchen. But we move to the next one. No. You can't say...
Juliet, you can't take the heat. Out of blood clot, nasty Bigfoot girl. Juliet, honestly, you can't take the heat. Now you come and talk about cyberbullying. You think like shit. But if you can't take the heat, come out of the kitchen. Why you so good man put Gagada in a parliament? Why you look at Batman husband put Gagada in a parliament? Look, man, Juliet, honestly, I talk about can't take the heat to come out of the kitchen. Juliet, if you're a dog shit a roadside, you favor dog shit a roadside. Go and look at the likes of you. You're your teeth in, man. Look on this blood clot dirty bungle. Eh? But if can't take heat, come out of that one can't take the heat where I bring. Uno can't take the heat where I bring, you know. Look how much law I put in place. Eh? Look how the town nationwide now shit in a plate. Look on dirty Bigfoot Juliet Wallace. I talk about can't take heat, come out of the kitchen. Look on you dirty man. Eh? Two dirty bungle. Look on Uno. Go on this. Go kind of like to Juliet to talk about can't take heat, come out of the kitchen. Uno thief like a puss. I don't want nobody talk about it. Not think like a shit.
Yes, and you can't.
Fucking bright. And you're out your mama and go. You stink like shit. That is why Rhoda fuck on you.
You have any more questions?
That is why Rhoda run a foot at eat that girl. That is why Rhoda give a run for your money. Eat that mad girl, market girl. That is why Rhoda give a run for your money, market girl. He that fourfold market girl. That is why Rhoda Crawford give a run for your money.
Minister.
You can't hold a man. Go and go learn to hold a man. Every girl that second down with their husband and hold a house, you can't hold for you. Go and go find somewhere for hold a man. You come and talk about can't take heat, come out of the kitchen. Why you don't want people coming to parliament with icky again? The true you can't take the heat. Why you put in restriction on icky in a parliament? The true you can't take the heat. You don't come with restriction in a parliament. The true icky and make you mad. Remember when you see icky panic in a parliament, you're mad out, you know. Enter you see icky in a parliament, full moon come in a year, a full moon. What is this Bigfoot mad girl? But if can't take heat, come out of the kitchen. Remember when you see icky come in on Rhoda Crawford neck, you're mad out. Whenever you see Rhoda Crawford with icky, remember say you're mad out. We know say you're full blown mad woman, you know. And then you see Rhoda Crawford with icky, you're mad out, eat that girl.
Have another question? Member,
Minister.
your mic is on.
Jesus.
Member Miller Bennett.
Go and go suck out your mama and go eat that Bigfoot girl. Stink,
Member
why?
Bennett,
And go suck out your mango.
if you are taking instructions from other members in the house before you
Why?
move to your next
And I'm out your mama and go dog
if
shit.
you have no other questions,
You tell your thief in man
let
to
me
declare
know
an
you have
asset
no
and
other
go.
questions so I can move to the next
Move your
member.
bumble and
So
go.
I'm asking you, do you have another question?
Suck out your
And
mango,
if you
dirty
can
girl. Go find
answer
yourself.
next question.
Go and go look and go find a smaller foot. Your big foot will give you a problem in the you go on like a nobody in the parliament, make your foot so blood clot big. You come and take out a big foot stress for everybody in the parliament. Where and where with the dirty big foot? You told them for ginger or yam head in a yam ground. Why you too? I go on like you nobody. Think you nobody boy a pussy. Go tell a dirty thief in boy for declaring asset. Your thief in boy with a thief charity money, go tell him for declaring asset. That if you go blood clot though. You can't take it eat, you come out and go tell a thief in boy if you go declaring asset. The thief in boy. When no thief and when no see. Where for your thief in boy no thief. And when no see. You come out and talk about if you can't eat, come out of the kitchen. But I want to them a people here, man. Eh? What the fuck wrong with them a people here? Eh? Jesus mercy, God. What the hell wrong with these people? Eh? 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 Eh?
Minister, is it because I might be new to the process?
Hold on, family. Hold on, family. Look what dirty Juliet Wallace. Juliet Wallace, hold on your blood clot. Big foot Juliet Wallace, hold on here. Yeah, your big nose, man. Hold on Juliet Wallace, I want to fear you, man. Eda, Juliet, a dirty bong. Eda, tell Juliet. Eda, tell Juliet Wallace this. We ain't big up yourself, you know. Eda, tell Juliet Wallace this. Uno say dirty bonger. Tell him, Eda. Tell him, Eda. Tell him, Eda. Bumbuckler, nasty Juliet Wallace come from. Juliet, all I want is your blood clot, big foot shit bag. All I want is big foot Juliet Wallace. You got box off. All I want is Juliet Wallace, your foot big like Captain Baker bread. Yeah, your man a dirty bonger. Yeah, Andrew a dirty bonger. Andrew and Juliet Wallace a dirty bonger in an island.
You know hear what I want, no me don't hear nothing. Well me hear what I want, I go tell you we happy. You know hear say the young man that gone a prison.
Boy, I tell you.
45 years he grudgeful.
Juliet Wallace, your man. Ease up talking man TV. Eda Miller. When you say this blood clot dirty bonger, nobody even waste some time on them. Andrew and him woman a dirty bonger.
I cannot ask about gaps in the revenue. And for your information,
Member, your next question.
I have independent thought and action.
Member, your next question. And that is not a budget number.
Eda, if I love you one more time, Eda, if I love you one more time, I cry. If I love Eda Miller one more time, I cry.
Oh, turn on the mic, Eda.
Turn on the mic. If I love you one more time, my dear sister, I cry. One Eda Miller upon it up.
Member Dawes, please turn on your
Hey.
mic. Member Dawes.
Angela Brownberg, you have company.
Member Jackson, you're after Member Dawes.
Member, you know, you have more than one, you have more than two. You have, hey, Angela Brownberg, I own and run things, you know.
I have a question on 16,004.
See my boss here come talk now, Fitz Jackson. Now listen to this.
Member Jackson.
I will proceed.
Thank you.
And I'm proceeding to say.
Member Jackson, man, get to your question.
Yes.
I want to dirty bonger.
I'm proceeding to say what my question is. I am sitting here as a member of the Standing Finance Committee, like all members, because in the Constitution, all members of Parliament have equal standing.
Standing Finance Committee is not for that, member.
Madam
Member
Speaker,
Jackson,
am I going to be permitted
go
to say?
No, go to your question.
I am framing.
I go, hold on to my boss. Blood clot, Juliet Wallace. I don't know what they tell us, you know. But if I never send a blood clot come, I see that girl. You see if I never send her come. You see, if I never say no come Bigfoot girl. Look at this here market girl here. From my barn I never know. Look at this market girl here. Jesus. I like and share. Is it Bigfoot Juliet Orleans? Tell a man to declare the asset, dirty bunger. You are sleeping in a house so you don't know how you come by. Go declare, you don't declare an asset. You don't dirty bunger. Bumblecrat. Look at them. Market girl and thieving boy. I go on like somebody power in our country. All dirty boy. Where you say my boss? All up. Dirty bunger. What the hell happened to this dirty bunger? Look at this dirty bunger. Look and look. Look at it. Look and look. Jesus, please. What you say? Let me start it back. Jesus, mercy, God. Market girl. From my barn.
All here for standing finance committee.
Okay. With a minger.
Standing finance committee.
With no dirty bunger.
For the purpose of discussing the budget numbers.
Let me hear what I say. Let me hear what this here say.
The particular standing finance committee is even more special than we have had for others, because our work is extended to the discussion of revenue numbers in a far more detailed way. So we will be here until tomorrow morning, and we'll continue tomorrow until tomorrow evening, and we are all prepared for that. I am asking members, stick to questions in respect of the numbers. And no, I hear you. I heard the previous member's statement to the minister, and equally the minister's statement to the member. And I'm asking you, if respectfully we speak to each other, we are not going to end up in a situation where we have to be making statements tit for tat. And so, Member Jackson, you have the floor next. I'm asking you, Member Jackson, to go to your question to the Minister of Finance in respect of the budget.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I will pick up from where I left off.
Is that a question, Member Jackson?
Madam Chair, if you listen, you'll hear.
On to this Jezebel. Jezebel, get out, get out.
It is a question.
I listen to Member
Dirty bunger, get out.
You know, I believe one of the things that we're in an infant school.
Dirty bunger, deal with him, my boss. Come on, know I'm to blood clot Andrew and his referee.
Madam Chair, I want the Parliament to bear in mind that this is a house of members.
Tell him to not fame when can declare.
Members.
Oh?
All duly elected by the people.
Oh, look at my thumbnail. I like and share the blood clot video.
And I don't know about anybody else. But nobody that will muzzle me here. My point, madam, and question. This exercise, I'm asking the question in the context of trying to get a better understanding.
Big up yourself, my general. I'm one the rest of MP them for the suit. Don't take no up attack from these dirty bunger. Do not take no up attack from these dirty bunger. Continue, my boss. Big up yourself, one Fitz Jackson on the app.
Of what is tabled in this financial document
What do you
of the
mean?
Minister of Finance. All of them. And what we don't understand, we get the clarification here at committee. And that's the reason why you can't ask these questions in the presentation of the budget, because it doesn't allow for that. Committees are for the purpose of delving
Tell the blood clot market girl.
in as to what is before us.
Let me tell you something, my boss. Let me tell you something. Not because him a put on some black frock, like him a walk in a parlor, coming out of Parliament. This woman only know if sell onion, tomato, thyme, and scallion and yam. This woman only know if sell them sitting there. Tomato, scallion, thyme, onion, peas, gongo, lettuce. Only them sitting there this woman know about. Don't make the big of a black frock when you have on full, you know. It's a higgler by profession. And this guys as the Speaker of the House. Juliet Owens is a higgler by profession. Or a market seller. The last time I check, she come confess that she don't go to a reception in a fish fry. And we know fish fry. We know we keep fish fry. And fish fry basically I want dance people buy full ticket and just come support you and will have vibe. And these two paparazing culprit, broken paparazing culprit, find themselves in our parliament and continue with their criminal activity. So Fitz Jackson, me like how you are deal with that one here. Big up yourself. Rosalie, monsieur, big up yourself. One Fitz Jackson on the app.
And we seek clarification.
Oh, you mean?
Not just
This is the session for to get clarity. Because Isaac said context matter. So this is the session now where whatever shit they talk out of their mouth, this is where you come and dissect it. And see if no E. coli are going in the water when them attack. Understand? Okay.
Straight answer. Clarification. So if I don't understand something here, this is where I come to get the answer.
And nothing is wrong with that.
Not in the corridor.
And nothing is wrong with that. Nothing is wrong with clarification.
So, I'm thankful for that. So, therefore,
nothing is wrong with clarification. Nothing is wrong with asking your question.
Here and just come
and nothing is
have
wrong
the
with
right to seek clarification on any question that they have.
And Member Jackson.
Big up yourself.
We are not of any discordant.
Big up yourself, my boss.
It was a statement that was
hey, when say performance. When say performance. This is what opposition look like. This is what the opposition supposed to look like.
I'm very welcoming of that.
And that is the point. So go
this is what fire the blood and fire comrade. This is what ignite the blood and fire comrade. When time the fire igniting at the parliament, because when I come in there, come look friend, we come in there to hold you accountable based on what you say and do. So one time when I pause it, my boss, big up yourself again. When time when I operate like this is what we need to spark the blood and fire comrade. Because they say, we really put the fire upon them, so the fire go boil over upon them in a different place. So I want every member of parliament from the PNP side, follow suit. This is no nice guy thing around here. You can't deal with dirty bunger no nice way. You have to deal with dirty bunger like dirty bunger. And as far as I can see, Andrew Holness and him followers them are dirty bunger. So you have to deal with these people according. So Fitz Jackson, big up himself. This is what gonna sparks the fire in the blood and fire, comrade. Delroy, big up yourself. One Fitz Jackson on the app. Continue, my boss. The floor is yours.
$1 million for the fiscal year 26-27. And it has provision for compensation of employees, rental property, etc. When I read the narrative here, I just want to be clear if this policy unit, where is it housed? And for example, rental properties, machinery, and so forth, foot. Where
You know,
are
tell
those
them now in a circle.
One. Question two.
We don't know nice thing running with these dirty
In
bunger.
respect of compensation for employees, I'm not aware of a national security advisor. The last hold of that office, to my recollection, was the former.
I'm sorry, member. Madam Chair, could we, just for good order, could members indicate if they're complete with the Ministry of Finance itself before
No, I
moving
I
on?
didn't get a sense that we had finished the Ministry of Finance.
No, before moving on, this is the office of the Cabinet.
Feel bad. Feel bad. It is full time now. You're going to relocate yourself into Desmond Nursing Home. Desmond Mackenzie Nursing Home. I think you should relocate yourself there and go work on your sickness and get the fuck out of a parliament. We're not finished with it yet. You put up yourself say you're the so-called finance minister. So sit the fuck down and wait till we finish talk. So continue.
Look in the book.
No.
It's the office of the cabinet.
So Minister, my understanding was that we were at Ministry of Finance and we were looking at the macroeconomic issues and that's where we were. Do we have,
so this one, okay, because this is
do
on
we
the
have
cabinet.
any more questions in respect of,
Okay, I'll defer it.
those segment of heads? Member Dawes, Member Buchanan, Russell, I think those were the last three mics I saw up, and I see Brown up too. Your mic is back on, Brown? Mic giving trouble? No, there's no others as we go along. Tell us now. So what is happening? More questions are coming. And for you to have that appreciation, it's now on another segment. So they're not mixed. So we're going to take the head. Member. So I'm saying the question from Member Jackson moves to another segment, and we wanted to see if there are any more questions from the first segment on finance and macroeconomic issues. So if there are other members with questions from that, we'd finish that, take the heads, and then we would release no, that's the most orderly way to do it, so that we can release the permanent secretaries who are here to support from that element. So Member Jackson, we'll come back to Member Jackson, and Member Dawes, Buchanan, and Russell, we will take your questions in sequence. Member Dawes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Minister, going back to the sugar tax, this represents about, a third of the total tax revenue, so it is significant. I'm still not satisfied, though, as to how you came up with that $10 billion figure. You chose, I said I don't understand. Protect me, please, Madam Chair. So, you chose a volumetric flat tax. Madam Chair, I beg you some protection, please.
Members.
You chose a volumetric flat tax.
Allow Member Dawes to ask his question, please.
And at that rate, what is the price elasticity that you expect? You said that you compared it with other countries that had put in such measures. Would you care to share with us what was the tax, what was the price elasticity, and what percentage decrease in consumption you were expecting? Because that would significantly affect a third of the revenue for your tax budget. More than half, no? 10 out of 18. I correct you. More than half of your tax revenue.
The tax measures. They're the revenue measures.
How did we get to the 10 billion is what I'm asking.
Repeat the question. How we get to the 10 billion? By taking a look at the number of cases that are consumed in Jamaica, and taking into consideration the number of cases of the sugary beverage that's consumed in Jamaica. Cases multiplied by at least 24 will give you bottles. Looking at the experience of other countries, so for instance, we looked at the experience of Mexico that has instituted the sugary beverage tax, and they saw...
Why you look to Mexico? Why you never look to UK and America like when you always look to UK and America with everything? Why not choose to look to Mexico for that? So no pick and choose, you have to look for certain things. Because this a tax we're not talking about sugar. This is madness. This is madness. This is just like, I don't understand. I just don't understand these people.
0.4%. So we took that into consideration as we estimated the revenues to come from.
Yeah. She have got early seizure dementia.
And there are other.
You know, there's something wrong with her.
Okay, Madam Minister,
I'm glad you see it, your eye open up. Your eye open. I like that.
Which is the substitute that would have been preferred for consumers who you're trying to nudge into a healthier lifestyle. So in Mexico, you would have seen a decrease in sugary beverages sales overall with a commensurate increase in the healthier alternatives. You are taxing persons who are trying to make healthier choices. So I don't think it's a fair example to look at Mexico. And again, I have to ask, why did we go for the type of tax that has had the worst effects on consumer behavior? Why not go for a gradient, a graduated tax, where you force manufacturers to reformulate and you may not affect sales overall, but you would affect the sugar content that was being consumed? Was something guiding that?
So member, in terms of the graded the tiered approach that's suggested, others have suggested that as well, and it is something that we can look on. It's a little bit more difficult than the way we've done it right now, but that's something we will look at as we move forward in the year.
Yeah, she say, it look a bit difficult the way how them launch it. So basically she say, fuck her then do, but as time go by, then we get it right. And that she say, so these people are mad people. Dirty blood clot bunker, I tell us, I dirty bunker them.
It can be done and how it could be implemented.
Okay. So, all right, Minister.
Member Dawes, you're finished?
That's it.
Minister?
Sorry. No, but I'm still not getting the alternative that we're nudging people towards. So if we're nudging towards an alternative, would there be an increase in revenue of one of the members shouted across that it is water, there's GCT on water. Are you expecting an increase in sales of water, and as a result of that increased collection of GCT, is it reflected in the...
member, we used the best knowledge that we had at the time to help us to estimate what the revenue measure would deliver, including looking at the current and projected consumption of the Jamaican population, and putting forward the change in the SCT on that. So, and I mentioned we're not averse to looking at the tiered approach that requires us to have a lot more data than we have currently. But I have a good team that I know will do that work to inform, and then we can do a comparison between what we have now and what that tiered structure would produce.
Okay. This measure is listed as just for 1 year. Is it expected to continue as a tiered system next year?
That's not how you interpret the revenue book.
So I'm asking if next year it will be. Okay, I'm standing corrected, but next year can we expect a graduated?
This is for information purpose, members. It's for information purpose. When you read the revenue book, when you read the revenue measures book and you look at the page that gives you the estimate of the numbers, it is only going to have the current year.
Right, so I'm asking if this is consideration for a graduated
next fiscal year.
Next year.
Is it next fiscal year you're asking about? Member dollars next fiscal year, or are you talking about this fiscal year?
We're discussing the graduated tax. Is it something that you are going to look at for implementation later on, or is it you're going to change the structure of the tax completely moving forward?
Okay. We will be looking at it. We will do our comparison with what that would deliver versus this estimate that we have here. And it will inform our decision going forward.
All right. Thank you, Minister.
Member Buchanan.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I seek your guidance and protection from particular members. I do not like to be bullied, Madam Chairman.
If you're seeking protection before you start asking the question, I'm concerned.
But you see, Madam Chairman, context matters, and it is important that I lay the context, and I see a particular member, Mr. Desmond McKenzie, he mean-facing me already, so I just asking for the protection. See, Madam Chairman, I wasn't. My apologies. I stand corrected.
McKenzie, please stop mean-facing. Member Buchanan.
Madam Chairman, now that I'm informed that Mr. McKenzie is not aesthetically up to date, I will proceed. Minister, my question is one of behavioral changes, and I'm instructed by the people of Portland Eastern in relation to the revenue measures for tourism activities. Now, in particular, there is rafting on the Rio Grande, and there's the unresolved issues of rafting and the usage of the Blue Lagoon. With the taxes, my question to you is there any consideration of behavioral change in that for both the rafting and the usage of the Blue Lagoon? What this is inviting is for persons not to regularize, because I understand that you would have to come into conformity with the JTB.
I have something for sure, to my viewers and subscribers.
Yes.
Hold on.
Respond to the question. No, it's not loaded. I'm just concerned.
So, member, are you opposed to law and order?
What? No, Minister, respectfully, the law and order is the effect that I'm contemplating, and I'm just inviting you to tell me if you...
Nice looking, feel bad, Williams. Go ask Big Dirty Think knows Andrew that question. For you see where I did. Go ask Dirty Think Andrew that question where I ask Isaac. Go ask your Think boss. Your Big Dirty Think knows boss. Go and go ask them the question. You're fucking bright. You know, sister, I'm man that to make a DPP look like a dog shit. A privy country. You can't like, you're nasty good. You can't like your sickness of Africa with your sight. You see, I boss that Isaac Buchanan, one a blood clot Isaac Pani up. Something wrong with you? Something wrong with you, ma'am?
contemplated this and satisfied yourself in that persons may very well, the TPDCO office, they may go up the river, down the river.
And I want to tell you, say, when you see Andrew Jones come out, come talk about Cuba, because Andrew Jones are going to announce, say, then cut all ties with Cuba. So no more doctor from Cuba, now come to Jamaica again, can't come to Jamaica again, under Trump policy. So when Andrew Jones come out, come talk all day about this and talk about that, America just making it look like a puppet on a world stage. Me say Donald Trump just make Andrew Jones look like a puppet on the world stage. Come out today and talk about them have to help Cuba. And now put out say then cut ties with Cuba doctor and nurse. So no more Cuba doctor and Cuban doctor and nurse in the country. No more. So when you see Andrew Jones come out today and some see some PNB come out and I thought, yes, Prime Minister. Like how why I can beat you when if you beat you about one time if you give a rating, which blood clot ratings? I not tell you say I do a movie. I'm so sure no. I never tell you say I want a movie. So then cut tie. And so could Cliff User say I want a stunning move. Dirty Cliff User look like he have AIDS. With the Cuban doctor would help him. We look like somebody have AIDS. Look how Cliff User look. Like in dash your belly or sitting. Look how Cliff User look. But stunning move. For Jamaican cut all ties with the Cuban doctor and nurses. The specialists them. And come out with their con. That is why, hey, that is why I'm telling you, say, I can't like a labor right. I cannot like a labor right. I hate them. I literally hate labor right. And I don't wish nothing good for labor right. I don't care who they want to be. For any labor right, I wish you the worst. Andrew Jones them just put it out. Them cut all ties with the Cuban doctors and nurses for good. Because Donald Trump say so. And them bright one sitting game for come read out today. Just because them are going to make him, then already tell him to do this, you know. So they just are making him look like a fool.
And try to do that, and then you cannot do that. It's not a matter of conformity.
Where's the Cuba tired of them too? Yeah man, Cuba tired of this dog shit government. Blood clot, dirty bunger government. I'm not tell you say Andrew Jones is a dirty bunger. Andrew a dirty real blood clot, dirty bunger from the pit of hell. Andrew a dirty blood clot bunger. And him is a thief in dirty bunger, so you know so that is that on a different level.
Minister, you have any other question, Member Buchanan?
I have another, but I didn't hear the answer.
No, so while the Minister is consulting...
Okay, I can ask the second.
Yes, ask the
Oh well, Ministers can use blood clam. Feel about Williams and no finance minister around here, man. I only think we are fool, man.
I'll ask the second question, and then if not, I'll thank you, Madam Chairman.
We'll answer both at the same time.
Minister, as the questions are all for behavioral changes, the same rule applies to the taxing on the digital aspect. In that there are e-services for e-books, Microsoft, Adobe, all of these which may cause hardship on an economy that we are actually trying to move into the digital space. So it's a matter of contemplation that is important. The digital economy and educational programs is the way forward, and as I heard earlier that it's a part of the fourth quarter, whether considerations for exemptions in terms of the education aspect of it is something contemplated by the ministry.
And member.
And the last question, and Madam Chairman, this is where I seek your protection. Again, I represent a constituency that they are thriving people, they're hardworking, and the taxing on sugary products. And here's the reality. was there a contemplation that there would be an invite for persons who could afford sugary drinks?
I'm going to do the whole of me. I'm a produce myself. I don't have a producer and I have to do everything for myself.
What was
See
said to me
it?
that man will now have to drink back juice pan base. And that is, water actually costs more than even bag juice. So in terms of a change in lifestyle habits, you're inviting persons to purchase a different class of sugary drinks because the behavioral change is not a realistic prospect of success.
That's a valid point,
So
my
the
boss.
object
The
or
context,
purpose
boss.
or the mischief that you are trying to correct by this,
We're not
whether or not.
discussing the
No, I'm
mischief.
That's a valid point, my context, boss.
Minister, question number 3 is off. Question 1 and 2.
When I hear this,
because we have had that question number 3 before.
question number 3 is off. When I hear, when I see what, when I hear them sitting in our parliament, Dirty Bunga go say question number 3 is off because them hear it again. Poor Isaac want some clarification. Suppose Isaac missed something out of the first answer. Remember, Isaac represent one constituency, you know. So Isaac ask question based on in constituency. So you can't talk about that question they asked already. So minister, that question is off. Look at think Dirty Juliet Owens, Dirty Bunger. Why all these insipid? Jeez, these people twang.
Before asked in different ways. And next we would go to Member Russell and then we will take the heads. Minister, you may proceed, Minister, in respect of the questions asked by Member Buchanan.
We've already talked on the sugary beverage at length.
Answer, Xavier.
Madam Chair, I believe that we have exhausted the questions and answers on the sugary beverage, on... We have, and this government... No, but members are asking the same question.
Minister,
again,
that's why I struck question number 3 because that question came before question number 3. But question numbers 1 and 2,
Well, I tell you, G. I tell you, I'm not so I go on.
To encourage the use of digital solutions.
Yo, man, don't tell man, them are people.
Whether or not the new tax would impact that development. And then the first question he asked was
Boy, I don't know if I accept one thief or pussy. You can't accept one thief. I don't know if I do it. Because one thing with thief, then can't tame in.
And tax avoidance.
Me can't like a thief can can't tame in.
So just...
You can't swear for somebody who thief, you know. No, my you put yourself in a problem. Look, if you swear for somebody, if you swear for one thief. Me can't swear, me can't like a thief, yeah, sir. I don't know when them I got cheap. I don't know when them I got cheap and start thief me. So for that reason, I can't like a thief. A real party shop for Joe. I name party shop because party shop are nice clean. This because I remember back in the days, used to be for nice clean. Then back in the early days, used to be a nice clean shop where you can sit down in and dine. All upon weekend, used to be for ram up with people. Recent time them start the food. Remember when Juicy Beef just started the food? On Saturday and Friday. A matter of fact, every day Juicy Beef ram up. So we now say them a party shop. We can call them outside toilet. Otherwise dirty bunger. Outside latrine. Otherwise dirty bunger.
All right, it would with regards to the digital services.
Not working.
Look like favor really I use now cutting my wire.
Going and coming.
Look like favor really I try sabotage the mic. Why am I do to have a lighter and use a light in mic wire? The mic that play up when you chat out and look at nasty mouth.
Minister, in the interest of time, would you be so kind as to respond to the question from the mic beside the FS here? So we can just turn it around.
Tell you, look like favor really plug out the mic, choosing our answer.
Out of the norm. Member Buchanan.
Because when I hear the sound I go and they come like when somebody play with the wire. And that type of sound I hear look a while.
Turn it off until we get to the next segment, please.
So favor really mash up the mic, choosing our answer the question.
No. So I'm asking.
You can't run but you can't hide. That's in the hot seat.
So we're asking Minister to go across and answer from here.
Right, so I think the question had to do with taxes on digital as to whether or not educational products or services will be excluded. As explained earlier, and I think I've said this a few times.
Oh, then right, I look on note gear. Right, I look on note gear. What a life.
On to help us to implement. We're looking at the experience of other countries who've done it. If you look at global digital services across the world, it is a significant percentage of global GDP. Jamaica is not at the table. We have to be there. We have given ourselves time.
Andrew is a fulfilled Marcus Garvey prophecy.
Of the fiscal year to
it is hard and you can't change it now. That is why I'm telling you. That is why I'm have to do these wickedness. Because these wickedness now I go boil the people them heart to make Marcus Garvey prophecy fulfill. So you have to do these wickedness. You have to be you can't avoid prophecy, you know. So remember, you know, I want the wickedness and Andrew one is gonna make the people them turn upon him, you know. So you have remember the prophet did say it, you know. The prophet say the most I got harden Andrew heart. Like he can't do good. Even if he didn't want to do good, but he gone too far. So the most I got harden his heart and will continue to bad till he fall upon his own demise. So as so comes him I go fulfill Marcus Garvey prophecy.
Because me I say, how can this in this critical time when Cubans need Jamaica more than ever?
Can I believe Andrew come out and talk out entirely today? Say them have to help Cuba. You know remember? Where they may say I don't know what kind of old tittle is a compound mic. When me look good, me see him kind of a black face. I swear say I want outside latrine. And Jenny think I want to fight outside latrine. So when me listen, I bear shit me see. I bear shit me see I fly like when pipe bust. Then me see the toilet tissue come out since day. Say them as say no, them as cut off all time with the Cuban doctor them. And that I want kind of a phenomenal move. Stunning move.
And then you have Nationwide saying
stunning move.
Stunning. Look, this is why Mr. Jamaican people, if they really love them life,
I'm telling you, you see PNP them in Jamaica too. Some of them fool, you know. Some of them come out and talk about, but I may beat the Prime Minister if I beat him. But if I give him, if I beat him, I can beat him because that's how we keep a good move that Prime Minister. I say watch a blood clot up with them. I say watch the dope with them. I say they never know that this is a movie. Donald Trump make Andrew and humiliate Andrew on the world stage.
That because
let me show you. I'm sure. Hey, I'm going to show you people them.
Remember when Mr. TSB, when we go back and listen to Andrew Holness' speech again, because at first me I think like everybody, but when I listen to it, I say, no man, I don't support Andrew Holness.
For the first time I listen, I get it. That is how I could attack Panny. And I see some big man who say them a veteran. Come out and talk some shit out of them. I say when if Andrew is this side of them and make some film shit splash upon them, let them chat some shit too. I see all on TikTok, I see PNP them come out. Boy, Prime Minister, I have to big up for that one. I say watch a blood clot idiot them. That me know say them are real idiot. Because the Labour right government never and will never like Cuba. So if PNP them get tricked with a local speech with Andrew Olin, I said, no, sir, that is why nobody now go march. Because they're stupid. You understand? They're stupid, they're gullible. That is why I say most of these PNP within Jamaica, them are not real PNP, them are just fall in line PNP. Through them people are PNP, then just come on the same like the dieted labor right, they then come on. So they don't even know what reason them are PNP either.
But when me I say there's all the Cuban doctors, there's only for specialists. Cuban doctors.
We need it in Jamaica.
We need it. We Jamaicans, we don't have those specialists.
Even America don't have them. Even St. Vincent Prime Minister, when name we lose the election with him. Gonzalez, Ralph Gonzalez. And them in the happen of film country nine lab. Also comes in, you could have assist cartel. How do you think he could have assist cartel? Now the Cuban doctor them hurt there. In a COVID, look how the Cuban doctor them help the world in a COVID.
But this is what I'm saying.
Look how the Cuban them help the world in a COVID. This man-made bomb clot sitting there and use for depopulation of the earth. Look how the Cuban them work off them back.
But when me say
just to get this at this. Hey, my heart pain me. Look how Cuba help Jamaica. Look how Cuba help Jamaica. And the blood clot sitting a plate labor right there when I want to live on Capture and thief and sell pussy furious of their life.
We cannot make labor right go on like labor right no nothing of them alright.
That is why I say the labor right them need to get licking at them face. Because them are aid and abetting in a criminal activity. They are aid and abetting in a criminal bomber clot activity.
Something like this what Andrew Wallace do, everybody if take it to the street.
Because
these people
them I said when I got blood clot hospital go lie down pan. That is why I hate labor right with passion, you know. I say I hate them with passion. And I know all I labor right in a my place. Because if you avoid them, I not go back blood clot because I don't want to see them. I not go back there. I prefer go live on the hillside like Chronic Law when nobody not do there to talk to. I don't want to go amongst them a blood clot, bomb clot, destruction people.
I feel some type of way. I feel
Jamaica have a full set of people in the earth right now are parade themselves. Like, but anyway, Jamaica are the best. Jamaica do set of full set of blood clot people right now.
Everybody I look down upon we.
The full set of people them exist.
Everybody I look down upon Jamaicans.
It's Jamaican right now in 2026.
No ratings not there for Jamaicans again.
The full set of blood clot people. See, because them are people Jamaican not getting no respect. No, we are getting no word. They want to say, no man, then because they find a Jamaican and say all I want is the same thing, you know. See, because we no blood clot junk make people classify, we are only see as the same thing. Jamaica, the full set of pussy hole them there on earth and walk around. Headless chicken them. Worthless your fuck. Only thing they want is I want new suit of clothes, I want car for drive, you know. Funny I have suit of clothes, I want car for drive. They don't want nothing more, you know. Funny I want suit of clothes, can't go magazine, I want town center, I want car play music. They don't want nothing more to life, a bomb or ass clot. What are people them like this, man?
I feel hurt. And Jamaicans they now go out, you know, they don't know how important.
Me see them come out now, I go protest for Melissa Silvera, where the government, they behind the blood clot sabotage there. Because the woman dead and then fire shot in her vagina, they don't hear say in her belly. So I hope I mix up but Melissa Silvera. I don't know how the bomb clot husband get caught up in that blood clot trap there. But somehow they find a way if you trap him. Seeing? And I see people put on them clothes gone out to them a march. And how much baby I see get take away in the island and I say nobody come out go march.
Nobody not come out.
I see transport authority run down taxi and car crash and kill school picnic on the way to school. And I say nobody come out go march. What a people. What a set of I am not a blood. Let me tell you this bomb clot. Upon the island I born but I am not a Jamaican. I am a Thai, you know, by blood clot birth. Otherwise, Arawak, anybody there that live on the island, when they come to come sit, that is me. So if a Thai, you know, then they come say, I am a blood clot Thai. I will never be a Jamaican. and can never be a Jamaican. No documents can never make me be a Jamaican. No documents can make me be a Jamaican. Because no documents can dictate and tell me I owe. Because I am that I am. But me I tell you say, the Jamaican them live on the island. Where's all my blood clot? All shit in a plate to graduate from college. We graduate from college, we're supposed to have a little bit more knowledge. We can pass down the knowledge to the people. Them. We can pass on the information you got college go get. Yeah. Share the knowledge. Yeah. Because there's no way you can go to college, go study, and just your mind, your brain just revolve around what the professor tell you. Because the higher the monkey climb, I'm more exposed. Yeah. So the more information you get, you go seek for more. So you can't keep this information to yourself. You have to share the knowledge. You can't blood class selfish with the knowledge. You're fortunate enough for go to college. Because a lot of people can't get to go. And you're going to go get so much knowledge till you go start for your own and look at research on your own. And gather so much blood clot information. Pass it to who no have it. You don't know them, none of them come from the same community. Sit down with them and reason with them. But the moment you start at college and come back in the community, you sell better than your peers. We never make it out and we never make it to college. You start staying in a house now, start separating yourself. You not to compound road. You start mix and mingle with the people them because you not go to college. What rubbish.
You see, you tell them about how the other Caribbean countries gone for them people in the Middle East. Bahamas, Dominica.
Charter plane gone for them people.
Flight, except Jamaica.
Andrew want to say, well, now they have members, but the government is like this, so this is not strange.
It's not strange.
Then do it with the people that on the ship in a COVID. Then do it down in Ukraine. And now they might do it again. This is the old played out book. It's because they have a nation of idiots, so this is what they have. Leopard never change in spot, you know.
They left them for
no, a leopard never change in spot.
This and Jamaican people
so
Andrew Wicked.
As long as this Sabati boy Andrew who say, sit down in our Prime Minister office. I am not a blood clot Jamaican. If a boy ever look at me and come Jamaican name fight. Suspend from being called that or identified by that.
Andrew will say Jamaica, nationwide put it out. Andrew will say Jamaicans are go boom ride with Dominica. If space did anything, no space they get left.
Then I can't go in a spot the boy go in a spot the wheel go up in a. Then can't Future Lodge. Then can't go up in that.
Yo.
See how much blood clot hotel worker coming out with a protest for raise a pay. And they make the people them trick them. I know them must suffer. You can't suffer for them people. That is why I say, I pray to the Most High God to harden the people them heart in a foreign way and mind them. Make them suffer. Make them know what hunger feel like. I was when that happened, more Andrew wanted to marry this in them a shop. Married it.
I feel bad. I feel sorry for the people.
I don't sorry for nobody at Jamaica. I don't, if somebody ever call me and tell me about talking man, I want some help. When I'm done with him, I been go put rope on his neck and kill himself.
No, that's it.
Make somebody ever call me and talk about him want no blood clot help in this channel and tell me nothing. Eh? Come call me and tell me that.
There are some people out there try.
Try do what?
Protest. Them a call, them a try, them a call the people them to come. But the people they don't want to come. I don't think the people.
Andrew wanna them call them out today if you come such a core run. For thief the money. How much blood clot body come out for go surgical run. Remember my first money when they make a surgical, then thief up here, you know. The first money when they see them a run for a specific thing. Then remember they do different with the money, you know. And thief so, you know.
And they never bill it.
Pediatric ward. Remember say even when Shaggy raised the money in a Shaggy Foundation, Christopher Tufton breed. In care belly for Shaggy for money. Me can't be the Tufton compound place a cost for money. Eh? I go and find back the video. Tufton come a cost for money when I no fee him. Remember I say no fee money and I'm a cost fee. That be sure that these people are criminal. And me not tell no lie. Me not stop till me play a part in send these pussy guy prison. I will never stop. With or without YouTube money, I will never stop. This is part of my destiny. I have to play a part in putting these pussy to prison. Because I know me alone can't do it. So it's all of we together.
But
I come together, all of we play a part. Not to put this abati boy in prison.
But babe, Jamaica is getting worse, you know. The economy is not good. They're just lying.
You know more if it happen? More on the top of the hospital than to blow off. More on the top for blow off of the hospital going and see. So then can't find the zinc or salt water go rot in the zinc.
It's getting worse.
Me say me want the top of the hospital then for blow off.
So how comes the labor right then you can't see what happened?
Sablamar hospital never have light nowadays in the last year, remember? So hospital now no light. Remember and I never did storm. I just them now pay the bill.
That's true.
And the hospital light cut off through the government now pay the hospital, the light bill. No gas and anything there. And people really come on social media talk about 1 p.m. I say me from a barn. I think that these set up New Jamaica on the island now are the worthlessest human being them ever born in the earth. I not say Jamaica, you know. In the earth, my context matter, in the earth. So there is nobody else like these drunker. The worthless set of people them are walk around in the world now is Jamaican. The worthless set of people that walk around right now is Jamaican.
On Jamaicans right now.
All of these shit in a plate, they not TikTok about them as social media influencer. I be a Batman them and Salamite and whore. Who not give ratings about social media influencer. Dog shit them. Them a bid for this a new Jamaica where Andrews are create because they accommodate them look a batty lifestyle. Other than look at you to on TikTok about them as social media influencer. They are batty fucker. And the girl them will call themselves influencer. As sad am I all, some of them are also fuck out, fighting foul. So all fuck out rooster. They in a social media space, but them a social media influencer. So all fuck out rooster. You know, so all lay a foul, lay out them batch and can't lay again, then just did it. None of them are just some all lay out foul. But you're not influencer. Look how much things are happening in Jamaica and you're not influence people to the fuck where are going in our country.
Exactly.
I'm not coming about influence where? Influence who? Why? Where? When? Only is nobody.
Me just see them posts. You see the urban center, Moreton Bay Urban Center. Look how Andrew Owens thief and corrupt. At more than 10, listen, you know, remember, so them have to rent out the place. You know? So these punks renting out the place to 10 government entities. Sign leases, they sign leases to begin operation at Moreton Bay Urban Center.
So they want to put some government building tonight to make money off of we.
Them put government to whatever, like, that them I do. Why would they do that and then I charge what? 11 point something a month? No, sir. What you say I charge up one?
Andrew for come out of blood clot Jamaica and you know, hey, if you go you know.
So Andrew let's build up urban center for government.
For reinstate government building right now, so we have to pay more money. So Andrew forget beaten.
Not even private sector want down there so. Not even private sector narrate the place.
Marcus Garvey prophecy half a fulfilled for that batty boy there. You better go read Marcus Garvey prophecy. I go sit down with him this man. Make him tell him what Marcus Garvey did say.
Right.
Yeah? So John Craig, key and blood clot been on Prime Minister boy. As long as he live, we not read that batty boy there. We're talking on TV, we'll never. And God now give me the power to do nothing to me. I'm out in man go. And if I come out of the country and go declaring asset. Think no thieving boy can't talk to me. No boy where I work for, no pussy where I work for me can't give me no talk.
Oh, this is just crazy, man.
I don't know, yo, she don't even know, man. Tired of this a pussy here. It's a pussy here come for mash up the blood clot country. You see, that is why I tell you, I hate to liberate them with passion. Me hate them, me hate them, me hate them, me hate them. Me say if hate could have killed them dead out of Ireland, how me hate labor right? Me hate them different, brother. Me hate them, man, me hate them with a passion. And hate is a strong word and me hate them. Hate the fuck out of them. Then if you go here, man. Then if you go here, man, go to a bush like dog. Then if you go here, man, when some dog sick, walk in the village, you know, and you have a dog and he's sick, you know, like in your mind, you know, say, the dog is sound dead, you know, like, you could have one cut, and you know, say it broke out, and you know, say it's a pain, you know, and you know, puny, and not eat, and you just know, say, more dead. There's some dog with dead in the yard, you know. You wake up in the morning and see him dead around the house back. But some of them, them garbage are dead. I smell them. And go off, go dig and hole and throw them in there. You understand?
Here this and now, we just say.
It's about formalization and whether or not persons would seek to avoid being formalized. I would hope that the Member of Parliament would encourage formalization in the constituency. I know that the tourism industry has been working assiduously to ensure that the attractions all across Jamaica are up and ready and in a proper standing for Jamaicans as well as visitors. I know that the tourism industry is active out there to help these smaller attractions to become, to become licensed. There's a purpose for licensing. It tells the tourism sector where you're located, what business you're doing. It gives you access to insurance products, at least the knowledge of them and so on. All across Jamaica, we'd love to see all of these attractions regularized and duly registered and be a part of the tourism product in a formal way. And to all my colleague members of Parliament who have this kind of tourism business in your constituency, it is to be encouraged, and while you're encouraging them to expand, you should be encouraging them to be formalized as well.
Good answers, Minister. Your last question comes from Member Russell.
Thank you, Chairman, Minister, and the team. Thank you for being here. Two questions. The first relates to poverty rates. We know that the rates for rural poverty as well as poverty among children is much higher than the national poverty rate. In doing the revenue measures, was there any assessment of the effect of the measures, revenue measures on poverty levels, especially?
That was asked already, Member. That was asked already.
No, not an assessment. I'm asking about an assessment of the effect of the revenue measures on poverty rates in rural areas and on children.
Member Russell, Minister answered already. And
no, that wasn't the question.
Listen, please.
That wasn't the question.
The Minister answered already, because the Minister said the document that does the assessment of poverty rate moving forward, she went through a long answer and she actually did so twice. That document that does the assessment of our poverty rates, yes, she said that assessment has not been done again.
Chairman,
she said that it's done every 2 years.
Yeah, man, I'm aware of the survey of living conditions.
Right, and she said
but this is a very different question. The survey of living condition establishes the rates of poverty. My question relates to an assessment of the revenue measures and how they're likely to affect poverty rates. So I'm not asking about current poverty rates. I'm asking about the projections of future rates based on the revenue measures.
But
it's a different thing.
Equally is going to not be an assessment that comes from the minister and the budget, it is equally going to come from.
No,
It
but
is equally going to
but
come
the minister,
from.
the ministry.
Minister.
Chair, please allow
Minister?
me. No, Chair, could you please let me clarify, because this is, I'm not doing this lightly.
Minister.
The rates of poverty in rural Jamaica are almost double the national rates. So while we welcome the historic low poverty rates, we also need to disaggregate that to make sure there is an equity-based approach to the revenue measures that we're implementing. And that's why I'm asking the question. Because without that analysis, then we're using a one-size-fits-all, which will not address the problem, right, of sustained high poverty rates in rural Jamaica and among children. No, that's one. I have another.
Minister, go ahead.
All right, just to repeat, Madam Chair, the analysis of the prevalence of poverty is done every 2 years. The last one that I see was done in 2023, calculated from the Jamaica Survey of Living Conditions. And it says that the poverty rate has never been lower, or the poverty rate is at a low in Jamaica, whichever way you slice and dice it. In 2023, it decreased to 8.2% from 16.7% in 2021, and it goes through and look at other measures. But that suffice it to say, this government has a robust social protection program.
May I accept the response so far?
Hold on, and to the extent that there are policies that may have a negative impact on different groups, the government is active through its social programs to ensure that there is commensurate benefit to the particular population. So that would be the answer.
Member Russell.
Minister, may I try asking the question another way? For clarity.
Yes, you.
Minister.
Member Russell.
Minister.
Yes,
looking.
You can try to ask another way, but I'll tell you, this was basically the same response the minister gave before, and she has actually gone even deeper.
I know, but it doesn't answer the question,
deeper.
Chair. That's why the question is, what is the likely effect of these revenue measures on poverty rates for rural Jamaica and for children? Because these are the two categories, the two demographics that have had the highest rates of poverty. And so these two groups.
Member, I was distracted by one of your members. Could you start again, please?
Angela, the question is, and the revenue measures that are announced and that are going to be implemented, does the Ministry of Finance, the minister and team, do you know what effect these measures will have on the two categories, the two demographic groups that have had the highest rates of poverty in the country, and that where poverty rates have come down the slowest, right? Rural Jamaica and children. That is the question.
All right. So again, member, what I want to say to you is that this government has a robust social program in place that through that, if there is going to be an impact, or if there's an impact on those groups that you mentioned, that is where the government would provide the support, the social programs that exist. And I don't know how many different
Minister, thanks for that response.
Okay.
Right?
Member Russell, next question.
All right. So, yeah, I was
the
expecting a
minister has
targeted approach
responded. The minister has responded.
All right. I'll move to the next question, Chair. The point has been made.
Member Russell.
Yes.
Member Russell. The social programs that are budgeted, that's what the minister is saying, continue to be skewed in its implementation to always those who need it the most. So it is included in your estimates. And how do you budget? She will be back here when needed for first supplementary estimates if the reality is not the same as we initially projected. So this first discussion...
But Chair, that's what I'm asking.
Right,
like, what is the effect? So you then would project based on that, and you'd also have the policy measures in place, right? So it should not be left to chance, which if I take the minister's response, it is left to chance. What I'm asking for is, have you projected, and as such, having done the projections, are you then going to be targeted in your policies to ensure that we get, because historically the rates have not come down as quickly as the national rates, right? Okay, let me move to the next question. The revenue measure related to duty concession on motor vehicles, Minister. Can you tell us the effect this is likely to have if you've done can you tell us the effect this is likely to have on for a concession of for a motor vehicle in the range of about $5 million, what is the likely benefit that will accrue to the individual who has applied for this concession with the new policy measure? Secondly, has there been any conversations with the unions, given that there is the view that this concession was part of negotiations and a negotiated agreement with the union? So those are the two final questions. Thank you.
All right, member, I am reliably informed again that this is not a union agreement, does not form part, and in fact, when the former Minister of Finance was doing the wage restructuring, this particular benefit should have been rolled up into the wages, but for some reason it wasn't rolled up. Should have been removed because of the wage restructuring that brought wages up to a higher level to market. So this should have been removed, but it was left in place. So it should have been removed, but we're not removing it fully. We're just asking those who avail themselves of it to pay the GCT.
Mm-hmm. And the effect on benefits? What is the likely effect on the individual benefit? What is it likely to be now versus before?
All right, so again, during the period that this existed, it was during a period when wages were significantly lower than they are now. This government went through a wage restructuring that significantly improved the wage level of the public sector to market or very close to market. And so this benefit at that time of the wage restructuring should have been removed, but it wasn't. We are asking those who avail themselves of the benefit now to pay GCT. The SCT will remain exempt, and they will additionally pay the 20% import duty. They'll pay the 20% import duty as well as the GCT.
May I just I had used the example of a $5 million vehicle. What I'm trying to get is a clearer sense of, at an individual level, what does it mean? What is the effect of the changes in this benefit for an individual? I don't know if have you done that calculation?
Right. So member, I am going to ask you to just experiment with your own calculation of 15% GCT. And I think you will come very close to the answer. This is, well, let's just say when you look at the general population of Jamaica, if you're buying a car, if you're an ordinary citizen buying a car, you have to pay the 20% import duty, you have to pay the GCT, and you have to pay the SCT. The ordinary Jamaicans within each of our constituencies, you have to pay that as well. So this is trying to equalize things across the society.
Member Malahoo Ford.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Minister, my questions relate to activities 1042.9 on page 23, activity 1005, page 11, subprogram 23, and activity at 1004.
Member, could you just repeat the page?
All right. Beginning at 2005.
Member Malahoo Ford, before you repeat the question, members, we are going to be working through lunch. So when it's convenient for you to do so, you may slip out a little at a time so that our quorum is maintained, and then return. Member Malahoo Ford, go ahead.
Member, I'm assuming you're referring to page 20,005?
5.
Yeah.
Legal services. The activity supports the provision of legal advisory services to the ministry. And note the significant increase between what was approved, the revised amount, and what we're being asked to vote for. Madam Minister, what accounts for that significant increase? And does the Attorney General Chamber still provide legal advisory service to the ministry?
Well, this is to the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service. You will note that in this current fiscal year, 25-26, that figure is $42.5 million. And in the new fiscal year, it's $42.9 million. So there's barely an increase there. As you can imagine, the Ministry of Finance has many pieces of legislation across the vast departments and agencies on which it has to work. We have to get legislation through Parliament. We need our legal persons internally. They interact with CPC, LRD, the Attorney General's office to get these bills out. And so I know, at least for the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service, there is a great need for legal services.
That takes me to the next question in relation to sub-program 21, Policy and Regulatory Framework, the activity that supports the operating expenses of the Public Expenditure Policy Coordination Division associated with the development and amendment of legislation, guidelines, and policies.
Could you give the page, please?
11. Governing public financial management. What accounts for the decrease in that sum between the approved, the revised, and what we're being asked to vote on now?
Are you looking at page 20,011?
Yes.
What's the activity?
The approved estimate was just over 718. The revised went down to 622, and it now stands at just over 617 for the development and amendment of legislation, guidelines, and policies governing public financial management.
All right. The years that you're looking at are back years, 2024, 25, 2025, 26. And if you look, well, I can only say that the major change that I see there is in the use of goods and service in those years. If you look back in the past, that's where the significant change has been. It has not been, let's see, yeah, that looks like where the major change has been, member, in the use of goods and service.
Right, next question relates to activity on page 23, printing and publication, activity that supports the cost of printing the Jamaica Gazette and other periodic government publications. The sum remains relatively flat. Minister, are you aware that the system at the government printing office is outdated and in need of major overhaul in order to facilitate timely publications of the laws, whether online or in physical form?
All right, so member, this is, what you're seeing here is just for the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service. This is just our printing work that we do. I've heard issues about the general printing office.
Sorry, Minister, this sum is just in relation to the printing of gazettes for the Ministry of Finance?
And whatever documents we print, that's what I'm just saying, this is not for the whole of government, this is just for the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service.
All right, my last two questions relate to the activities supporting the operations of the Public Sector Modernization Division, page 5.
Page 5.
What accounts for the significant decrease between the revised estimates and what we're being asked to vote on? And how does that impact any modernization work to be done?
There's been a shift. No, the modernization efforts are still ongoing in earnest. There's been a shift in where their budget is located in this book, and that has been shifted, I think, looks like.
Anyway, my viewers and subscribers, are you saying Marga, you know? Yeah, I feel tired. Tomorrow I have an early day. I have an early shift tomorrow. So tomorrow go more better. So big everybody who can hold a vibe with me. And if you don't want to support me, you can just support the cash app there. You see me? Support the movements. So I can take something when I can when I make me sleep. something over the pharmacy will start give me a little more energy just me to sleep. So we can go burn some more fire. Just support the cash app if you don't feel like. Support the movements if you is a true talking mind fans. The cash app there.
The link is there.
The link is there. Just press on it. $1, 50 cents. Whatever you have, just put it in the PayPal.
Remember, this is phase 2 of the
And support the movements.
The phase 2 is
Yeah, because my studio almost come alive and I go more to start show inside of my studio. So, but my do the final touch on it. You see me? So I want to support the cash app so the studio can come alive. I can have like 2 cameras or 3
Program
cameras set around the
23,
studio. I can
oversight
change
of
from
public
different
bodies and
screens.
executive agencies.
So I can get a better view.
Page 11.
I'm a studio and so I go on in my
The
studio. You
activity
see me?
that supports the operating
That are the plan.
expenses of the Public Enterprise Division.
And I invest in my
which
studio.
has
Remember, I
responsibility
invest
for
free. I'm
monitoring
going to look
the
my money from
financial
YouTube
operations
because
of public bodies and executive agencies.
YouTube when you talk a certain way for them pay you and you have to talk the way how I talk. To connect with the people them though.
What accounts
So
for
I have to
decrease
compromise
in
the
budget
YouTube paycheck
and
just to
whether
talk with my people them.
less or more monitoring
Yeah.
is required
Then send me to Ash.
for the upcoming.
But I have to talk the way I talk. Because I connect to the people them. But big up on yourself and support the people. And keep the movement going. The movement going because you see me?
Went down, and
Yeah,
that
just show
is
some love.
because
If you don't love the thing, just support the people.
Jamaica
It's there.
might have left
And I don't know, the word is love.
division.
And I must never forget the labor right them name. Their name is Dirty Bungle.
On the way to
So
get
look
the
more
skills
here.
needed in that.
Yeah. D to the R and the X.
Dummy on the beat, so it's a bang.
Oh, them so thief. 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 Tough turn a thief, bombas a thief. Julechi a thief, Roda a thief. Fly Green a thief, Desmond a thief. Babsy a thief, Harishang a thief. Whole ministry not the party a thief. 1 PM make us a blood clot thief. Be a corruption, all police and soldier thief. Jamaica something wrong. Millions and billions, the whole of them a thief. Now them want raise tax, make the highland grieve. When you boy long a poor man get the squeeze. We a march to a king's house and fuck the street. 80 million per market me. Then I saw home girl, look up pussy sweet. No bed no in at the hospital. Panic concrete, me see the patient. Them asleep. Them a chop right, them a chop left. 1.4 beef for the bus. Shit bag, barrel. Remember you try thief, put to barrel. Kill Diana, stuff sharp man in a barrel. Melissa money come Jamaica pussy whole service. So no take and give them. Who no know we nah no us, we nah no us. Thief, bombas a thief, Julechi a thief, Roda a thief. Fly Green a thief, Desmond a thief. Babsy a thief, Harishang a thief. Whole ministry not the party a thief. 1 PM make us a blood clot thief. Be a corruption, all police and soldier thief. Jamaica something wrong. Joe is a leader mafia gang for this man cause sweet Jamaica land. Killer for youths and a take away land. How come so much court up on the island? By the judge, police and soldier man. Like corruption, you and your big foot girl. Dictator, little tyrant. Devil in a flesh, you a demon. Rise up Jamaica from on the slumber. Everything wanna take, we a come back. We not alone must switch while we to suffer. Remember the pain of we ancestor. Got blood in our eye, fire in our heart. Let that figure roll, yeah, we did talk. None to fight the buckle, all bogle, lead the rebellion.
Ready.
Father Banya, my father Banya, my grandmother Banya, my grandmother Banya, Ayana Ibanya, Ayana Ibanya, my leader Banya, my leader Banya. That's why I not live here. No, I not live here. He gave I a message to all those people who no love progress, who no love progress. Say to juke them with land lease, say to juke them with land lease, then to juke them with the pioneer war, juke them with the pioneer war. Equal pay for women, equal pay for women.
son in the PNP party. Come in. Follow me no jet. Follow me no jet. Watch this. Say we enable string cut from PNP. It no make sense, nobody try change we. Waste our time to go vote for the GLP. Step up the progress for all of we. Alright, me hear one bag of yapping, one bag of chatting. When PNP attack up, you're cheering and clap. The gate fly Sister P, get the party a cracking. Beat them up, bad water, hell ever whopping. Bad out the road, there is just no stopping. Sister P a run things, nobody can stop her. Watch out the crowd, them a flock her. Say from Moran Pine, right back to Negril. From Montego Bay back to Shooters Hill. From Santa Cruz up to Myersville. All when you look up in a Malvern Hill. The man them a work hard a put up windmill. Look how we road them fix up and pretty. From St. Elizabeth up to Kingston City. From Montego Bay back to Ochi. Every man a shout out Sister P. We enable string cut from PNP. It no make sense, nobody try change we. Waste our time to go vote to the GLP. Step up the progress for all of we. Alright, come me say PNP, me say whether sick or hearty. All when me reach 140. Vote for Sister P, vote for PNP. The only party will look out for we. Say from Kingston right back to OG. Say listen to me vice no hosty. Nobody have too big, mighty and bossy. You can't test the PNP party. We enable string cut from PNP. It no make sense, nobody try change we. Waste our time to go vote for the GLP. Step up the progress for all of we. Alright, in the east, in the south, in the north and west. Say from Cornwall right back to Middlesex. You climb from here to go a Mount Everest. Anyway you pass through, PNP are the best. Forward we going with a lot of progress. Labour right party a stress. We enable string cut from PNP. It no make sense, nobody try change we. Waste our time to go vote for the GLP. Step up the progress for all of we. Alright, me hear one bag of yapping, one bag of chatting. When PNP attack up, you're cheering and clapping. Gate fly Sister P, get the party a cracking.
Yo, PNP, we put a broom. What the PNP them there? Everybody, give me the fist, give me the fist, give me the fist. And in the ear, make we sweep with bad mind, make we sweep with the thief in crime, make we sweep with the false promise. Yo, Bunting, get your push broom. Peter Phillips, get a broom. Yo, Julian, get a broom. Mark, everybody. PNP, sweep. Bunting, sweep. Nathan, sweep. Julian, sweep. Mark, sweep. Peter Phillips, sweep. Angela, sweep. Ian, sweep. Palwell, sweep. Azan, sweep. Luther, sweep. No like this, sweep. False promise, sweep. Them are wicked, sweep.